since Inauguration Day.
From education to energy.
We will drill, baby, drill.
From the economy to the military.
We will again build the strongest military the world has ever seen.
Watch it unfold day by day.
My first day back.
First 100 days.
It's a tough job, but I've had a lot of tough jobs.
Follow the first 100 days on 93 WIBC and WIBC.com.
Coming up in 2 minutes from the Technology Recycler Studios, what forecasters are warning you about regarding the upcoming weather, what voting rights groups are saying about a voting law in Indiana, plus what's changing regarding the Hoosier Lottery. Those stories and more after Fox News Radio. You are listening to 93 WIBC. WIBC HD1 Indianapolis, and it's now 9 o'clock.
A surge in hiring. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News, and the report just out this morning showing a lot more hiring than expected last month, nearly double February's number, which was revised lower.
228,000 jobs added in the month of March. Unemployment rate goes up to 4.2%.
Fox Business Network's Lauren Simonetti, but Wall Street not reacting much to that. Instead, the focus remains on new U.S. tariffs on almost all imports and if they could harm the economy worldwide. Dow futures down 1,000 points before the opening bell this hour after plunging more than 1,600 yesterday, the biggest sell-off since COVID hit in 2020. But President Trump says the market will rebound with a U.S. manufacturing boom. Posting on Truth Social minutes ago, this is a great time to get rich, richer than ever before, and his policies will never change. Saying last night on Air Force One,
you see the plans are starting to construction already. We have many plans.
China, though, is readying a retaliation, a 34% charge on all American products.
Exactly the kind of countermeasure that Treasury Secretary Bessent warned against, saying that that would prompt even more escalation from the U.S., from President Trump. But it's not just U.S. adversaries. It's also allies who are trying to weigh their next moves. You had French President Emmanuel Macron calling for suspension of all planned investments in the U.S. by European companies and vowing a united European response.
Fox's Jackie Heinrich at the White House. President Trump has fired the director of the National Security Agency, Tim Hawke, as well as others in the National Security Council. The lead Democrat on the Senate Intel Committee, Mark Warner, reacted saying, how does this make Americans any safer? More nasty weather forecast today. Texas to Kentucky after days of storms and tornadoes did damage in several states, killing 5 people in Tennessee, 2 more in Indiana and Missouri. And Fox meteorologist Janice Dean also warns of
the heavy rainfall, the once-in-a-generation potential flooding event for some of the same areas.
The threats from Texas to Pennsylvania. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
His warning to you about what's coming from the sky. Sunny and 48 degrees in the Circle City, plus your radar is clear. I'm John Herrick. Here's what's trending at 9:02. Plenty of rain has been falling across Indiana lately.
Really, our focus right now is on the flood threat with an isolated severe threat along with it. So it's not to say that, don't disregard the severe threat. We do have that tonight with some wind gusts as well as some hail threat.
Aaron Updike with the National Weather Service in Indianapolis says even an inch of rain can cause flash flooding in some areas. About 17,000 people in Indiana are still without power from Wednesday night storms. More on your forecast in a moment. Indiana gas at $3.30 a gallon on average today, says Gas Buddy. One station in Indianapolis selling it for $2.39 though. Voting rights groups have sent a notice of violation to the Indiana Secretary of State's office and the Indiana Election Division. They're saying a new law in Indiana is in violation of the National Voter Registration Act. Common Cause Indiana Executive Director Julia Vaughn says this law would require naturalized citizens to jump through additional hoops to register to vote, and she says the state already struggles with low voter turnout. Frustration about violence in Indianapolis.
But if you can't control your emotions enough to use violence, and especially gun violence, to solve it, maybe should we leave our guns at home?
That's Indianapolis Police Captain John Arvin, who said that after someone shot and killed a man sitting in a truck along East Washington Street Thursday night. Now they're searching for suspects. Change is coming to Mega Millions this weekend. Terry Stacy reports.
Sarah Taylor, executive director of the Hoosier Lottery, says Mega Millions is about to get more mega, with ticket prices jumping to $5 beginning tomorrow.
So it'll be the first $5 draw game in the United States.
and we're excited. The odds are getting better for winning. The jackpot will start at $50 million instead of $20 million. Each play will now have what we call an automatic multiplier from 2 to 10 times, and so that means the non-jackpot prizes will be even better. So you'll see those changes into retail this weekend. Looking forward to the April 8th will be the first drawing.
Terry Stacy, WIBC Mobile News.
And with traffic now, here's Matt Bear.
All right, John, a reminder that the intersection on the east side Washington State Avenue is still closed for utility work, and that's going on until the middle of next week. Interstates look great going into the north split. No problems inbound 70 from Shadeland into the north split. About 4 minutes right there. Traffic sponsored by True Green. True Green, get a golf course quality lawn for less than you think. Sign up at truegreen.com. That's TRU green.com. True Green, the official lawn care treatment provider of the PGA Tour. I'm Matt Bear with traffic on the fives. Follow us at WIBC Traffic.
Ladies, most of us are exhausted and trying to figure out how to do it all. We just want rest. And if we're honest, a good long nap. What if I told you there's a better kind of rest? One that refreshes you and lets you operate out of overflow instead of exhausted leftovers. The Women of Life Church are seeking God in holy rest. Join us on April 26th for our annual women's event. Take a deep breath. Rest is waiting. For more information, go to lifechurchin.com.
Your American Standard Cooling Weather Center forecast.
Hey, skies with more rain throughout the day today. We'll see highs right around 60 into the 50s tonight with storms and could see some more intense rain. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Tara Hastings for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Sean Herrick on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com. 9:06, time for Kendall and Casey.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
We're going to get to it, okay? Just relax. We'll talk about property taxes. You know that it's on the template. So we're going to get to it because we've got some news. Not a lot of news, but some news. It is the Kendall and Casey Show. My name is Casey Daniels. Rob Kendall is off today. And joining us in the studio, Jerry Lopez. Speaking of property taxes, we were talking about this before we began. The last time I saw you was at the property tax rally, right?
Yeah, that was the day it all went down. Was the property tax rally.
We're going to get to it, all right? You can tell your side of the story soon enough, all right? But as we start the show today, let's do some tariff talk.
Let's do it.
You ready for this? Okay, so stocks, they were down yesterday at the close. This is the first full trading session after Donald Trump announced the tariffs, the reciprocal tariffs. So the Dow Jones dropped over 1,600 points. NASDAQ fell about 6%. S&P 500, it decreased. But there was good news this morning, and we just heard the jobs report came out. And it was on the upside, 228,000 job increase. So the unemployment number is up 4.2%. Yeah, it sounds weird. The unemployment number is up 4.2%. But I think that's better than what a lot of people were expecting, especially after all the Doge cuts.
Oh, 100%. And when we talk about these tariffs, I mean, the reality is that we talk about the market's down and this is down. It doesn't mean the economy's bad.
Right. They're different. You have to remember that the stock market is not the economy. And as we say, the only day you really have to worry about the stock market is when you're withdrawing your money from it.
Right.
Your retirement day. So maybe not choose today.
If you're not pulling out, it's okay.
Yeah, just just go with it,
but
right?
When you look at some of these countries where really we're worried about these tariffs, and you're talking about Southeast Asia, China, places like that. That's why you're seeing big hits to places like our companies like Apple, Nike. I know my daughter likes to buy stuff off Shein, right? That's coming from China. Right. All these little imports, you're going to start. That's where you're seeing these hits. Nvidia, right? Companies like that. So that's really what they're looking at. And yeah, it's a bad look. It kind of sucks, especially when you have the media just speculating. It's almost like the sky is falling every single time you turn on the TV.
Yeah, everybody's trying to say what's going to happen. And Donald Trump came out and he said, you know what? Yeah, it's may hurt for a little bit, but in the long term, things are going to get better. So worst case scenario, things are bad and they stay bad. best case scenario, things are short-term bad and then they get better. It's like, but this has got to happen because these other countries have been leeching off of our country for years and years and years, decades and decades. And you know what? They have animosity towards us no matter what.
Right.
When we help them, they don't like us. When we don't help them, they don't like us. So
we might as well help ourselves.
We might as well help ourselves. So don't like us, and we'll make America first.
The frustrating part about this is the people that are really upset can't even tell us what a woman is. Okay, you can't even tell me what a woman is, for starters. After that, just a couple months ago, you were a genius on international war affairs with Ukraine and Russia. Then you thought you were a scientist because you wanted to tell me about COVID. And all of a sudden, you know everything there is to know about tariffs. I need these people to pick a lane and stay in it.
Right. So Trump framed the tariffs as reciprocal, and he said it's aimed to balance what other countries charge us on our imports.
That's
right?
fair.
He said they could be lifted if the other countries behave, and it's not an emergency. What did he say? He said it was like an operation, and the patient is healing. It's always like, you ever had any procedure or surgery? It's like the second or third day is always the worst. It's not right after it happens. It's the second or third day, and then you start to feel a little incrementally better after that. And that's what he said, this is what it's going to be like.
The markets today are way down, the worst day in years because of the tariffs. So how's it going?
I think it's going very well. It was an operation, like when a patient gets operated on, and it's a big thing. I said this would exactly be the way it is. We have $6 or $7 trillion coming into our country, and we've never seen anything like it. The markets are going to boom, the stock is going to boom, the country is going to boom, and the rest of the world wants to see, is there any way they can make a deal? They've taken advantage of us for many, many years. For many years, we've been at the wrong side of the ball, and I'll tell you what, I think it's going to be unbelievable. The thing that people have to talk about, we're up almost to $7 trillion of investment coming into our country, and you'll see how it's going to turn out. Our country's going to boom.
So some officials said that the tariffs were non-negotiable, but the Commerce Secretary said that Trump might strike deals if other countries change their behavior. And China this morning said, nope, they're imposing an additional 34% tariff. And then, this may sound silly, but I'm really wondering how much TikTok is going to play into this, because TikTok generates about $30 billion a year. And is Donald Trump going to use that algorithm as a negotiating tactic with China?
I mean, I don't put anything past Donald Trump at this point. Whether it's the tariffs, whether it was a tough talk with Canada and Mexico's presidents, there's a means to the end here. And I think we just need to let it play out. But here's a little fact. If you're a business owner and you're worried about tariffs, just manufacture in the United States. Then you don't have to pay tariffs.
Right. There's the solution.
Yeah, just manufacture
There's
here.
the solution for you. There has been a lawsuit brought against Donald Trump over this, and it is from the International Emergency Economic Powers Group. Okay, so this is a New Civil Liberties Alliance, which is a conservative legal advocacy group, and they say that they're a Florida-based small business that sells planners and purchases products from China.
Yeah, of course.
So there you go. Now, in the wake of all of this, Donald Trump's approval ratings are dipping just a little bit. His approval rating fell to 43%. It's a 2-point drop since March. He was at 47% when he took office. 37% approve of his handling of the economy, and 52% of Americans believe that the tariffs on cars and auto parts are going to hurt people.
So since the day he's took over, he's only lost 4 points?
Yeah.
After all this, people, he sucks, the tariffs, he's making 4 points?
Yeah.
I don't think people are that upset.
So that's a Reuters poll, by the way. And Jim Banks, our senator, he was in the Rose Garden when Donald Trump made the announcement. And here's what he has to say about the tariffs.
Hey, everybody. It was such an honor yesterday to be in the Rose Garden of the White House with President Trump on Liberation Day. President Trump signed into effect reciprocal tariffs on other countries who already take advantage of the United States of America. For too long, we've had presidents from both parties that have let the rest of the world walk all over us and take advantage of American workers, but no more, not on President Trump's watch. And not even 24 hours later, the General Motors plant, where I come from, Fort Wayne, Indiana, just announced more good-paying jobs, more overtime for employees, better pay for workers. This is great news. We're just getting started. Thank you, President Trump.
Okay, so he's right. GM did announce that they're going to increase their vehicle production in Indiana following these tariff announcements. They're going to hire several hundred temporary workers for the Fort Wayne plant. They manufacture the Chevy Silverado and also the GMC Sierra. And Ford, okay, now one other thing I wanted to mention, though, Stellantis in Kokomo said they're going to be laying off about 900 people because their plants in Mexico and Canada are going to be shutting down. So
they're coming here then, I would assume, right? Like somewhere in the United States.
Hopefully. So you've got jobs being added in Fort Wayne, losing some in Kokomo, but Ford says that they're going to start offering their employee pricing to all of their shoppers.
Exactly right. For the next couple of months, we're going to offer our customers the same deal that our employees get. And as you say, that's worth thousands of dollars. You come into our store, you get employee pricing. This is kind of to call a little bit of a timeout. We've heard some uncertainty from our customers, and we want them to be assured that Ford, the most American auto company, is going to do right by them, as are our dealers. We make the most cars here. We employ the most. We export the most. And so we here at Ford, we're in a good position to address customers' concern and give them a really great deal on a great vehicle.
Okay, so the tariff policies obviously sparked a lot of debate on their effectiveness. Some studies highlight positive impacts like manufacturing, others pointing to negative economic consequences. I mean, this is like a wait and see thing, right?
I mean, nothing's even changed
because it's
yet.
been over 100 years since this has happened. So these economists are, this is going to be a recession. Do you know that for sure? Were you alive last time? But as we have said, that if the tariffs were tied to some serious reductions in spending, also some deregulation and lower taxes, it would be a lot easier to sell to the American people.
I mean, I remember a term that Donald Trump came up with, and it was the External Revenue Service.
Right.
And this is it.
This is the External Revenue
We want to
Service.
get rid of income taxes. We want it. Somebody's got to pay our government. Let it be other countries.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It is the Kendall and Casey Show. That's Jerry Lopez filling in for Rob Kendall. Thanks for coming in today, by the way.
Definitely.
Yeah. It is 93 WIBC.
When you wake up,
You understand this is about money. 1,000%. They started this.
when you work,
We are gonna make some noise today.
Eliminate property taxes now.
Hanging out with us, it's fun.
Right.
when you drive home,
Is it time to try something new, you think? Because it hasn't worked, and maybe try something new.
traffic when you need it,
Stopped on 465 again.
and updates all the time.
I'm Ryan Hedrick on the level, on the go.
Stay in the know wherever you go with 93 WIBC.
Meanwhile, at Xfinity. So, influencer life going well?
Oh, yeah. I'm up to 32 followers.
Oh, that's something.
Yeah, posting my tap dancing videos is easier than ever because we engineered Xfinity Internet with 99.99% network reliability.
Plus, Xfinity Mobile with Wi-Fi Power Boost gives you ultra-fast Wi-Fi at home and on the go. But wait, tap dancing? You don't tap dance.
Hey, what I lack in skill, I make up with passion.
Do more of what you love and love how fast you do it with Xfinity Internet and mobile. Now through April 17th, get 300 megabit Xfinity Internet and one unlimited mobile line together for $30 a month for 1 year and save $1,000 in your first year over Verizon and AT&T. Learn more at Xfinity.com. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. After promo, regular rate supply. Savings compared to Verizon 5G Internet plus one unlimited welcome line and AT&T Internet 300 plus one unlimited starter SL line. Xfinity Internet required. Actual speeds vary. Reduced speeds after 30 gigabits of usage per line. Data thresholds and actual savings vary.
Your future holds so much potential. The question is, are you planting the right seeds today to make it flourish? At Howard Bailey Financial, we strive to help you create a retirement plan that can adapt to your evolving needs, offering guidance to bring you clarity, confidence, and purpose along the way. Whether you're just beginning or refining your financial strategy, we're here to support you. Let's grow something lasting together. Text GROW to 888-262-1104 to start planning for your future full of possibility. That's GROW to 888-262-1104. Take the first step today. Howard Bailey Securities, LLC is an independent financial services firm and uses a variety of different investment strategies. Please see disclosures at howardbailey.com.
As a fan, you know all the important sports cliches. And when you save money by bundling your home and auto with Progressive, you can get out there and give it 110%, even though that's mathematically impossible. And remember, failure is not an option. Well, it's always an option, just not a good one. But you're not worried because you've got ice in your veins. You're on fire. How can both of those things be true at the same time? Well, that's between you and your doctor. So get out there and leave it all on the field. Leave what? Who cares? Just leave it and save with a bundle from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com. If you have a 2004 or newer vehicle that's out of warranty or about to be, Endurance is urgently notifying U.S. drivers about their low-cost vehicle coverage plan designed to save drivers thousands on rising vehicle repair costs. Those who qualify can pick their plan, coverage, and repair shop. Roadside service, towing, and rental cars included. All covered repairs get paid directly to the repair shop for you. Call now for your free quote. Call 800-298-9383. 800-298-9383.
Inside Indiana Business Radio, the news you need to get ahead. Indiana's business news leader, weekdays at 6:32 a.m. and 5:56 p.m. on WIBC.
That surprises me, Jerry. I'm glad you learned some discipline when you were in the military. Academic probation, huh? Yikes!
Yeah. Welcome to the real world, baby.
It's the Kendall Casey Show. Rob is off today. My name is Casey Daniels. That is Jerry Lopez joining me in the studio. So Governor Mike Braun and some education officials, they announced the new diploma standards with 3 Honors Plus seals. And I had asked you, Jerry, where you went. You went to college?
Yeah, Indiana State for a year.
For 1 year?
Yeah, 1 year.
What happened? Start talking.
So my mom was a very strict parent.
Yeah.
Right? Very great parent, but like be home when the streetlights come on.
Mm-hmm.
We were corporal punishment house.
Okay.
Mom did not play.
Yeah.
So when I went to school, it was, the training wheels came off. And I basically just fell repeatedly for a year.
Yeah.
You know, if I don't go to class, nobody cares. Nobody calls me.
Uh-huh.
Then you show up, you have a test. I don't even know what the test's about. I'm not going.
Were you rebelling or were you just...
I was an idiot.
Nobody was holding you accountable.
Yeah, nobody was holding me accountable. Yeah, I was just living my life. And after the first half of the year, I got a letter. You're on academic probation. I didn't know what that meant.
Uh-huh.
And the second half of the year, you're like, you don't have to go home, but you got to get the heck out of here. So I joined the service.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And so straight from there.
Straight from there.
You went into the military.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, actually, true story. My mom kept threatening me with the military.
Uh-huh.
So I called the recruiter out of spite, which was kind of the best thing I ever did.
She knew that's what you needed.
Oh, I don't know if she knew that's what I needed. But I had to do something.
Right.
Yeah.
Moms know best.
She does. And
look at you.
Yeah.
Look at you now.
Yeah.
Mom,
you were right. There you go, in front of the whole city. You were right.
Okay, so these seals of these new high school diplomas, the Honors Plus seals, they offer pathways for students who want to, enter higher education, also employment or military service after graduation. So they earn these Honors Plus seals. They will also receive automatic acceptance into all of Indiana's 7 public colleges and universities. So the schools include Ball State University, Indiana State University, Indiana University, all campuses, Ivy Tech, Purdue, all campuses, University of Southern Indiana, and also Vincennes. Hey, I think it's a good thing, right? Indiana taxpayers supporting public universities should be focused on educating Hoosiers.
100%. And you're paying taxes anyway that are going to these schools.
Right.
So, in a sense, you're already paying for that education. It should definitely be easier for students.
So you're helping Hoosiers.
There it is.
Yeah. So to earn the seal, the students have to complete at least 75 hours of work-based learning. And this could be like an apprenticeship or job while they're going to school. And Governor Braun, he said that the goal of reducing Indiana's brain drain is by creating these pathways to align students with skills and interests. The only thing that this doesn't do is help pay.
That's the big part, right?
It'll help get you in.
You're in.
You're in. Good luck with the rest. The plus version of each honor seal emphasized the work-based learning hours, and they say that it gives kids the real world experience in preparation for college. Do you think if you would have had something like this, Jerry, you would not have been on academic probation?
No, it wouldn't have mattered. I still would have got in, right? I would have been in the school. I still would have just, done my thing.
Yeah,
right?
It's like when you go off to camp or something, right?
Exactly.
But a lot of students get that worked out after a few weeks.
Yeah, it took me a long time. I had to have a stranger yell at me in the rain. This is a true story. So I am, my first duty station was Fort Lewis, Washington, which is in Seattle, 3 hours behind Eastern time.
Mm-hmm.
I probably got booted out of school in May. I signed up for the service. I was at my duty station by August. Running in the rain at 6 a.m. going, I messed up.
Yeah, messed up for what?
That I'm even running in the rain. I should be in class, right? This is dumb.
You regretted it?
Oh, and it was instant regret.
Yeah.
Instant regret.
And how long did that take to kind of make you?
Listen, you can run in the rain at 6 a.m. every day. You regret it every single time. Especially when there's strangers yelling at you. You don't even know who the heck these people are.
Yeah.
And here's a kid who didn't even go to class.
All you know is if you don't keep running, you're going to be doing
I'm going to
push-ups.
be getting yelled at, by this guy. Yeah.
Even more. Okay, you don't regret joining the military?
I think it's the best thing I ever did. Without that, I'm not any of this.
Yeah, you're not the man you are today. Well, thank you for your service. Let's talk property taxes, can we?
Let's do it.
Okay, so they're trying to redefine the property tax proposals. So yesterday, when I was on the old internet, I found out that the Ways and Means Committee is going to be meeting Monday morning, bright and early, at 10:30. And then we found out that today they're going to be releasing some information at 3:30.
One of those.
Yeah, so we found out that, allegedly it's a complete dumpster fire. And who knows what sort of relief, if any, they're going to have with this. But it does seem like they're just going to try to ram it through, just like the Senate did, right? And eliminate any time for opposition, because nothing says a high vote of confidence in what we're doing like releasing information on a Friday afternoon at 3:30. We call that the Friday news dump.
Yep.
So what that is if it's something that they don't want anybody paying any attention to, release it late on a Friday afternoon.
Hopefully something happens over the weekend. We don't even talk about it.
People go on with their lives. They'll forget about it. Monday morning rolls around 10:30. Let's just get this on through and move on.
Yeah, it's a shame.
So that to me is not a big vote of confidence that Hoosiers are going to get any sort of relief.
No, I expect it to be bad news. If it's a 3:00 p.m. Friday night or Friday evening dump, that's bad news.
Yeah. So I'm wondering, do you think, what are they going to say? They're going to say that we're going to really focus on this next year.
Yeah, they're going to kick the can as much as they're able to. I mean, I don't. The sad part is, and once again, kudos to Rob Kendall, because every time I talk to him, I know he's been the champion of this whole thing, and I've told him to his face 1,000 times, I did not like you when I met you. Because of stuff like this. Because, like you said, white hats, black hats. Right? Oh, you have an R? I support you.
Yeah, you were thinking it was team sport.
Yeah, like, oh, we're going for the R's. Without Rob holding the R's accountable, we're being treated like a Democrat state with high tax. I mean, we have a supermajority. Everything about what we have in our local government says we should all be happy and not be arguing about taxes.
So Indiana Capitol Chronicle, they released a article this morning, and it said that the House Speaker Todd Houston and the Senate President Pro Tem Rod Bray, they want Hoosiers' 26 property tax bills to be lower than those in 25. Houston is aiming for over 50% of people to pay less in property taxes in 26 compared to 25. Bray expects most people to be less. So we'll see what they come up with. I'm not, that amendment that Thompson had with 236 pages long. I mean, it might as well have just been in Chinese, because I don't know who was going to be able to understand that. But Scott Baldwin said something, and he was at the Illinois Boundary Adjustment Commission. We talked about that bill, House Bill 1008. And somebody asked him about property taxes, and he said, "Oh, I'm glad you brought up property taxes." And this is what he had to say.
May I respond, Mr. Chairman, to that briefly? I appreciate you, Senator Darnell, bringing up real estate property taxes, because if you have paid any attention to the news or to happenings in the State House, that seems to be a popular topic these days.
You think?
And there has been some concern that our property taxes are too high. I would agree that we accelerated too rapidly with our homestead property taxes, and we're trying to do what we can to fix that. In the face of us being, what did you say, 1/8?
1/8.
1/8 of the property taxes of Illinois. And we can compare it to many other states out there, what our property taxes look like. But I would say that that's a fine example of why sometimes we perceive the grass to be greener on the other side when it's really greener where you water it. And in Indiana, we water our grass. And I'm glad you brought up real estate property taxes. While I 100% agree, we need to provide some homestead relief. And frankly, I'll say this, I'm a fan of zero homestead property taxes and try to figure out another way to tax people other than on their homes. We still have one of the lowest real estate property tax rates in the nation.
Okay.
So thank you for bringing that up. Thanks for allowing me to respond.
Why are we measuring ourselves against other states? So pretty much what he's saying there is Indiana, it's not as bad as other states when it comes to property taxes. But keep this in mind, Indiana has the 17th highest total tax burden. And that is coming from the fiscally conservative supermajority Republicans. So are we supposed to start thanking him?
At least we're not Illinois.
Right.
I mean, that's the worst example that you could pick.
Yeah.
Right.
He just admitted right there, yeah, I know, we overstepped. We went too far with the burden.
I'm surprised he didn't take a step further and go, what's cheaper than California, cheaper than New York, cheaper than Minnesota? Like, pick all of them.
Okay, so when they release the details, we will be on it today. It is the Kendall and Casey Show. It's 93 WIBC.
The April 15th deadline to file the FAFSA is fast approaching. When you complete the free application for federal student aid, you help your child access Indiana's nearly $400 million in financial aid, including programs like the 21st Century Scholarship. It also determines your student's eligibility for federal grants and scholarships for college or certificate programs. Visit studentaid.gov to get started. For complete information, go to learnmoreindiana.org/FAFSA. Paid for by the Indiana Commission for Higher Education.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
A lot is going into it. Mostly sunny and 50 degrees in downtown Indy, with 60 being the high today. I'm John Herrick. This report is brought to you by Window Nation. Here's what's trending at 9:31. Severe weather could happen again in Indiana this evening. And what about tornadoes? Where Aaron Updike with the National Weather Service explains.
We can't completely rule out tornadoes tonight, but given the atmospheric conditions, we do think it's a lot lower threat tonight than it was on Wednesday.
Most of the state's either under a flood watch or a flood advisory. About 17,000 people in the state still do not have power. Fencing is going up around the White House ahead of a weekend protest in Washington, D.C. About 10,000 people are expected for a rally at the Washington Monument that begins at noon tomorrow. The protest is part of a nationwide day of action against the Trump administration organized by a group called Hands Off 2025. Alex Ovechkin will try to make NHL history tonight. Ovechkin has 892 career goals and is 3 away from breaking Wayne Gretzky's all-time NHL record. Ovechkin and the Capitals are hosting the Chicago Blackhawks at Capital One Arena. And your opening bell report on 93 WIBC, brought to you by Absolute Wealth Management, LLC. We're starting off the day in the red. Already the Dow Jones Industrial Average down more than 1,000 points to 39,533. The S&P 500 is down 145 points to 5,251. And the NASDAQ trailing 508 points to 16,042. I'm John Herrick, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
WindowNation.com, that's where you go to replace your cold, drafty windows with energy-efficient ones from Window Nation, like I did. I love my Window Nation windows. I've saved a ton on energy bills, and your new windows can be installed in 1 day or less.
Go big or go home, and that's what they're doing at Window Nation. Right now, get four windows for free with every 4 that you buy. And there's no limit. The more you buy, the more free ones you get. 0 interest, 0 payments for 2 years. You don't pay anything until 2027, and you get 4 windows for free when you buy 4. And on top of that, get a free entry door when you buy a house full of windows. This deal is not going to be around forever, so you got to hustle. 866-90-NATION. That's 866-90-NATION, or go to windownation.com. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
Do you have an idea for a book, fiction, nonfiction, or a children's book? We can help you put it together and bring it to market at Dorrance Publishing. We have thousands of testimonials from people just like you that we've helped get their books sold in stores and online. We've even got a service called The Writer's Coach. It's perfect for people that have a book idea in their head and they just need someone to help them put it on paper. Dorrance Book Publishing has been helping people just like you who have a book idea, written or not, for over 100 years. Imagine being counted among the most famous authors in the world with your very own book. Call right now and let us help you turn a book idea into reality. It's easier than you think. You just need a little help. Call us now.
800-879-4098. 800-879-4098. 800-879-4098. That's 800-879-4098.
Every day we knock on doors, tell people how they can cut their power bill in half. And get this, most don't even listen. So instead of walking miles knocking on doors, we figured, why not just buy a radio commercial? Look, we get it. Going solar sounds too good to be true. $0 down, 50% off your electric bill, never worrying about rate hikes. Sounds too good to be true, right? But here's the thing, it's not. It's just math. You already pay for electricity every month. Why not pay less and own your power? Most people still ignore this, but not you, right? You're smarter than that. So do what the smart people do. Get a free quote at SaveWithSolarNow.com. It takes 2 minutes, costs you nothing, and might just save you thousands of dollars. See for yourself at SaveWithSolarNow.com.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC.
It's the debut game tonight.
It's tonight.
The
Fisher's
Freight. That's indoor football, right?
Fisher's Event Center.
Yeah. What's that mascot?
I don't know. A freight?
It's not a freight. It's an animal of some sort.
Looks like a hedgehog, Sonic type guy, brown one.
Okay, so Fisher's football inaugural game tonight. Do you know where they play?
Fisher's Event Center.
Okay, at the FEC.
At the FEC.
How much are tickets?
Not bad. Hey, I don't get paid for this, but my daughter showed me a app called TickPick. And you don't pay any service fees on the tickets. Check it out, I promise you.
Really?
Really. So if the ticket says $38 and you get 2, your tickets are $36 times 2.
Okay, there you go.
And a lot of times, Ticketmaster, the service fees are more than the tickets. So
I've heard that indoor football, it's quick.
We'll see. I've never seen any of this before.
No. Okay.
Nope.
Well.
So I don't know if it's like Arena League where they're slamming each other over signs or anything, but I'll go
Against the
support
wall.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So I've been told it's kind of like, if you put football and hockey all together, because it can be the pace of hockey and the skating.
That'd be awesome.
But
and supposedly, I don't know anything about the team, but the coach is like a 3-time champion. So the team's supposed to be legit. Yeah.
Okay. Good. Who did they play?
Tulsa something.
Okay. Other. All right. Well, you'll have to let us know if you go.
We'll see.
Take pics, okay?
I will.
All right. So you have a different opinion than what Rob expressed the other day regarding Jim Banks. Of course, our senator, he went viral for telling Max Schroeder, who is a man who identified himself as a recent HHS employee who was let go. And Jim Banks said that the guy probably deserved it, and he seems like a clown.
Yeah, I agree with that. I wouldn't go so far as to say that he deserves it. Definitely a clown. 100%. Because here's Jim Banks leaving, and maybe this guy is upset because he lost his job. Rightfully so. If you lose your job, I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. That kind of sucks just as a human. As a person, there's a lot of changes. Families are affected and everything else. But if you want to do this gotcha journalism where you're catching and you have your camera out and you want to catch this viral moment, well, you got your wish, bub. You got your wish.
So Max Schroeder said that he worked on programs supporting people with disabilities and older adults, and he was at HHS before he was fired. So let's review. This is how it went down.
Hi, I was a worker at HHS. I was fired illegally on February 14th. There are many people who are not getting social service programs, especially people with disabilities. Are you going to do anything to stop what's happening?
You probably deserved it.
I deserved it?
You probably deserved it.
I deserved it. Dude, wow. Sad. Yeah, that's great to hear. Why did I deserve it?
Because you seem like a clown.
Okay, sir, you shouldn't have said that on.
See, and you see what she was. You shouldn't have said that on video. That's the whole point of
Like,
what they were trying
gotcha.
That's what she was waiting for.
Mm-hmm. So Banks has referred to the guy as an instigator, a left-wing activist. He claimed that he's been chasing Republicans and cheering for Democrats in the Senate office hallways. Schroeder says that he wasn't seeking reinstatement of his job, but he was just asking lawmakers about what they were going to do to ensure that residents receive the services, especially the people with the disabilities.
I didn't hear him ask that question.
No, you didn't, did you?
Right, I didn't hear that question. I heard I was fired illegally.
I was illegally fired. Right. So Jim Banks is defending his position and said that, you know what, he's not going to apologize.
The Democrats and the left-wing media have lost their minds because I told a left-wing activist in the halls of the Senate office buildings yesterday what I really thought. A clown is a clown who's chasing senators through the halls with a cell phone, complaining about losing a left-wing woke job in the federal government that should have never been a job to begin with. I won't back down. I won't apologize for it. I support President Trump and the DOGE effort 100% to cut wasteful spending and woke jobs out of the federal government, and we're just getting started.
Okay, now I did not hear the guy really complaining about losing his job other than when he said that he was illegally fired.
And what do you think about that, is what he said? Well, you sound
okay.
You probably deserved it.
Yeah.
Why would here we go. Why would you say that? Because you seem like a clown.
So Banks then went and changed his profile picture
baby.
to the elevator shot.
Play the game.
So you were one of those people who was agreeing with that because a lot of the comments were, you know, oh, he's based for doing this, and boom, and we're tired of this. We're going to fight. And I think that's the conversation, because so many times when the left does that, people complain, well, the Republicans don't fight back. Why aren't we fighting back? Right. And then Jim Banks fighting back, saying he's not going to put up with this anymore. And then some people were complaining that he did.
Well, Republicans aren't used to being on offense. Mm-hmm. We're so used to defending our rights and our views and why we should follow these laws. And if you really look at how the left and the woke left and the activists really work, I mean, they're crazy. Do you remember when they were chasing around the senator from Arizona on an airplane, followed her into a bathroom? They are nuts. And until we start going, you might want to think twice before you approach me with your stupid question, because I'm going to give you your moment. They have to stop then.
Okay, but do you think that Jim Banks could have handled that differently? I mean, that seemed like it was a bit of attention-seeking behavior when he was saying, on both sides, really. Right. The guy with the camera and Jim Banks.
Yeah. Well, he wanted the attention, the guy with the camera did, and he got it.
He did get it.
There's no, I don't know the nature of their relationship. Like he said, oh, he's in here chasing senators down. Mm-hmm. So for all we know, Jim Banks has seen this fool many times this week.
Right.
Trying to talk to this person, that person, and it seemed like he just had it.
Yeah. So Robert F. Kennedy Jr., he announced that, you know, they terminated over 10,000 jobs at the Department of Health and Human Services. And he came out and he said, some of those programs and personnel were mistakenly cut and would be reinstated. So that's not a good look either. Like, whoopsie.
Yeah.
Now, you know, when you move fast, you're going to make mistakes, right?
But Jim Banks didn't fire anybody.
This is true.
He's not the director of any of that stuff. He didn't send emails and say, let me know what you did this week. He has nothing to do with these people losing their jobs. If you want to talk about RFK and HHS, yes, he's responsible for that. It's kind of like we say the buck stops with the president. Mm-hmm. In HHS, the buck stops with RFK. So if you made cuts that were unnecessary, that's on you, dude. Okay,
so in the first round of government cuts, a lot of employees from the CDC and the FDA, they were brought back after initial terminations. Yeah. And now he came out again and said, okay, you know what, we might be bringing more people back. And I'm curious, have you ever been fired from a job?
Yeah.
Would you go back? If that same person that fired you came back and said, "Well, we made a mistake," would you go back?
No. But also, like, let's be honest, government work is pretty easy. I mean, all jobs are kind of different.
Not all government work.
Right. All jobs are different, right? 100%. I used to work in the government center here, right? There is a lot of bloat when it comes to all government, right? I understand them wanting to come and take. What they say, we took the chainsaw and maybe we shouldn't have. Maybe we should have been a little bit more accurate,
precise, right?
And we're learning that now. But I think if we're talking about mass layoffs, yeah, I think I would go back if I was a part of a mass layoff. If I was individually fired, no chance.
Really?
Yeah.
Not even
too much pride.
Not even right, exactly.
The whole office knows I was fired. I'm not coming back.
Right. Not even if it came with big flowery language and an apology and please, we missed you, we need you. You'd still
But imagine what kind of hustle it is. Like, so you get a 6-month severance package, some kind of severance package. You get that, and then you get to come back to your job. That's a dream, Casey.
Yeah. I just think, you need to be really careful when you're talking these blanket statements of all of these federal employees and government jobs. No, there are some good people that
100%.
work there that are truly trying to do their best and what's right for the country. And then there's also some bloat mixed in there as well.
But isn't that like most companies? Like, there are people that really work hard. There's some people that are just skating by. Some people, you've never seen them. Like,
right.
It's typical, but the government jobs are so big, and we're paying for them. I think that's the biggest part, right? If the radio station wants to cut bloat or whatever, that's a business, but they are paying their own bills. We are paying the bills of those employed by the state and federal government.
Yep. Okay, so more news. Dr. Oz, former heart surgeon and TV personality, he's been confirmed to lead the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services. Senate voted 53-45 along party lines to confirm him. And, okay, what do we think of this? My initial reaction was, that's interesting. The guy lost to Fetterman in Pennsylvania. So now we're going to put him in charge of this.
Yeah, agreed completely. You couldn't beat Fetterman.
You couldn't beat Fetterman, but now you're going to manage $1.5 trillion in federal spending across these programs. You don't like it.
I don't like it.
But it's smart to have somebody in charge of it, right?
Somebody has to be in charge.
Yeah.
I don't think it should be Dr. Oz. It's too weird to me. He's a celebrity. Not that Trump isn't, but Trump's a businessman.
So you're saying because he's a celebrity and he doesn't need to worry about this stuff?
Well, no, I mean, sure, worry about it, but I don't know how good he is at managing, like you said, trillions of dollars and making decisions on people's Medicare, Medicaid.
Right. He does come from the medical side, so he's got that background.
Sure, but then I would think he'd be better for director of HHS.
Right, because what is that position really? It's managing.
Yeah, he's the one that should tell us the chemicals we should have.
Managing the economy of the agency, not actual.
There's a reason you
medical
have admins
opinions
and physicians,
right? So okay. It's all very interesting. You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show. It is 93 WIBC.
3 words: Beer Sample Friday. That's what's coming up this afternoon on the Hammer and Nigel Show. The biggest stories in Indy. We'll talk some tariffs. Jeff Boggs is in for Nige. 93 WIBC.
Turning 65, new to Medicare, or just moved? If you qualify for Medicare and Medicaid, a Humana Dual Eligible Special Needs Plan, a DSNP, may give you the extra benefits you're looking for. A DSNP helps cover things like prescriptions and checkups, but it also helps pay for essentials, too. With a Humana DSNP, you get $225 a month for eligible groceries, rent, utilities, and more. Plus, whatever you don't spend carries over to the next month. You may even get benefits like $0 copays on routine prescriptions, plus routine dental, vision, or hearing coverage. All of this could make a difference for your health and wallet. Learn more at GetHumana.com. Humana, a more human way to healthcare. Humana is a coordinated care HMO SNP plan with a Medicare contract and a contract with the Indiana Medicaid program. Enrollment in any Humana plan depends on contract renewal. Allowance amounts cannot be combined with other benefit allowances. Limitations and restrictions may apply.
Military veterans and active duty service members, you could become a certified cyber warrior with just 12 weeks of training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, and IT pros with these skills often enjoy abundant opportunity and a great lifestyle. Protect our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. SkillBridge and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP.
You ready to build your custom dream home? Check out Joyner Homes based out of Greenfield. See one of their model homes in person anytime. It is a great way for you to experience the customization and quality of a Joyner Homes custom built home. Plus, you can meet with a new home specialist to learn about their building process. Available lots if you don't already have one. Find out about floor plans and where they build. Model homes are open 7 days a week from noon to 5, and walk-ins are welcome. Find out more at joynerhomes.com.
Now that spring is here, storms can happen at any time. WIBC will alert you to severe weather from the Chapman Heating Storm Desk. For all your heating, air conditioning, plumbing, and drains, call the man for all seasons, Chapman. Go to chapmanheating.com.
So it popped up on the House Ways and Means Committee schedule. Property tax relief, SB 1. It's in committee, amend and vote only. That's going to happen Monday in room 404 at 10:30 in the morning. Of course, they're expected to have some sort of press conference today at 3:30, and nothing quite says you're getting screwed like a Friday press conference at 3:30 and then early Monday morning meeting.
Yeah, they just want you to forget about what they're going to say, and they're going to really put out their statement on Monday.
Yeah. Make it go away. And nobody will be surprised if the statement is something like, yeah, we just couldn't come to any sort of agreement. We're going to work on this next year. Yeah. We'll get to it then. Who knows? We'll let you know what they say, and then we wait and see what Governor Braun.
I can't wait. We might have a showdown. Showdown. This is why he was elected. The LG's backing it. The biggest radio station in the region's backing it. I mean, what is going to happen?
We didn't talk about this. I completely forgot about it when we were talking about this property tax thing earlier. So at the rally, you had a little bit of a showdown yourself.
Well, I introduced myself to some protesters.
What happened there? Because I was kind of like at the end of the hallway when I started hearing noise.
Yeah, so for those of you that weren't at the rally, we were on the second floor. I guess they call it the third floor.
By the way, it's the Kendall Casey show. That's Jerry Lopez in for Rob Kendall today.
Yeah, so we were on the second floor, third floor. People were starting to gather. Across the little area from us, there was maybe a little smattering of a couple protesters. Let's call them 7-8 people. Looked like the Substitute Teachers Union or something like that. I don't know. Wearing red shirts. You saw a guy that had Nazis not allowed in my house. And coincidentally, I think these people have drawn more Nazi symbols than the Nazis have, right? And at some point, the police go over and say, you guys have to move to them. And they have to go up a flight of steps.
Right, because they didn't have the permit to be on that floor.
Right. The issue is the steps were on our side. So now these knuckleheads got to walk through our rally to go upstairs.
Yeah.
And one lady, so the police officer's like kind of guiding her through. And our side being it's a property tax rally.
Yeah.
Right? We weren't there like, this wasn't a MAGA rally. This is property taxes. And the police officer's like, you need to go upstairs. Obviously, the stairs were a little full of people. So he said, make a way. So now there's a open lane for this lady to walk up the steps. This is the lady that ended up being arrested.
Okay.
To walk up the steps. She didn't want to walk up the middle. She wanted to go along the rail side and force every single person that was on the rail to now move for her one by one by one.
Okay.
The cop said, no, we're not doing that. She moved her hand, got thrown on the ground. You're going to jail now. Well, then there was one lady, and I look over, and she's wearing a shirt. I thought they were teachers, but she's wearing a shirt that says Democrat Socialists of America.
Okay.
And for those of you that don't know me, my family is from Cuba. Like, I am one boat trip from what we are doing right now will get you missing. Right? You don't criticize the Cuban government. You don't protest. You don't do any of that stuff. And to really hammer it home, it's 90 miles from Florida. Closer than Chicago, we have essentially North Korea, right? And my mom made the trip when she was like 20, 21. Came over, was sponsored by a Catholic church out of Indianapolis. That's how he ended up here. Okay. And so this is near and dear to me because, like, I have family currently in Cuba. My mom's one of 12. Everybody else is there that know what it's like to wait in line for food. They know what it's like to have milk rationed. Not just rationed, you don't get milk unless you're under the age of 5 or over the age of 60-something. To have your lights turned off, to have all this stuff happen. And you see where Jay-Z and Beyonce, they're going to Cuba. That's not real Cuba. They're going to tourist Cuba.
They're going to vacation Cuba.
Exactly. So when I see stuff like that, not only does it get me my blood boiling, but it really makes me want to inform these people of how stupid they are to live in this country, whether you like the president, whether you don't, whether you're a conservative, whether you're a Democrat Socialist of America. And as a veteran, I fought for you to wear the stupid shirt that I don't agree with.
Right.
But you have a right to do that. But you're not going to come over here and be brain dead and act like it's going to be okay.
So you wanted to let her know your thoughts on the shirt she was wearing.
So my first introduction to her, and this, you got to play the game. I looked at her and I said, "Do you have privilege?"
And what did she say?
She said, well. I said, no. Do you have privilege over me? Because here's a white lady, and I think on the victim woke Olympics, she's supposed to be more privileged than the brown guy by their standard. We don't know each other. We're just going straight off race. And she said, yeah. And I said, then be quiet. Let me talk.
Okay.
You are so ridiculous. And I just kind of gave her the business. We went our separate ways. And then I found out a couple days later, it's the wife of a councilman in Indianapolis. Yeah.
Okay.
So it was a cool moment. It went away. But I think much like the Jim Banks thing, it wasn't a gotcha moment for me, but she wanted the moment.
Yeah.
And I gave it to her.
Okay.
And I think the more that we do that, the less likely any of this stuff's going to happen. When we start standing up and going, you know what, I don't agree with you, but you're wrong. Hear me out, instead of just putting our heads down and trying to get away from stuff.
Well, you wanted her to have a better understanding of what the shirt she was wearing represented.
You met the wrong one today, baby.
Okay. Now, you came into some money recently.
I did.
You went to Indiana Unclaimed.
Ballin'.
Right?
Ballin'.
Tell us about that. You said you heard
Rob
the
Kendall.
commercial right here on WIBC.
Yep. So I've heard it here. I heard it on Cats. I've heard it a couple times. It's going around. Indiana Unclaimed. Unclaimed. And I'm sitting around, and this is a true story. I'm sitting around at home. I just pull up, is it indianaunclaimed.gov. Pull it up, super easy. Put in my first name, put in my last name, searching for stuff. And I go, and I think that's my old address.
Yeah, that's me.
This is me.
Yeah.
And I click on it, and it had me put in my name, my last name, my mailing address, my social, couple things, got insta-verified.
Yeah.
Check's on the way. About 10 days later, I get a check from the Indiana State Comptroller, deposit it, boom, $130.
There you go. Well, congratulations.
Yep, so
Some
do
found
that.
money. Does it tell you what the unclaimed money is from?
Yeah, so it's a credit for something. I think it might have been cable or something weird.
Look at you.
Yeah, do it. IndianaUnclaimed.gov. It's worth checking out. Trust me. It's free. It's your money.
You're listening to Kendall Casey. That's Jerry Lopez in for Rob. It's 93 WIBC.
Comcast Business helps turn today's small businesses into engines of modern business. It's how restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. How retailers become seamlessly restocking, cyber-securing, must-visit shops. And how healthcare offices become the data managing caregivers that we all depend on. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, advanced fiber solutions, and Wi-Fi backup, Comcast Business is powering the engine of modern business. Powering possibilities.
Now through May 4th, new customers can get started with 300 megabit internet and Security Edge for $69 a month for 24 months. And ask how to get free installation on qualifying bundles. Plus, find out how to get a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying gig bundle. Call today. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Requires enrollment in paperless billing and automatic payments with bank account. Equipment, taxes, and other fees extra. After 24 months, regular rates apply.
Hey, fellow Gen Xers, it's Elizabeth Banks. Big news! The recommended age for pneumococcal pneumonia vaccination has been lowered to 50 and older, even if you're healthy. It's up to us to lead the charge. After all, we gave the world the internet. We're trailblazers. Let's lead the way again because we are at over 6 times greater risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Gen X, this is our shot. Head to vaxassist.com and schedule today. That's vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
This is a special notice to all U.S. taxpayers with back taxes to the IRS. Billions in tax relief is now being made available to struggling taxpayers, giving thousands, even tens of thousands of dollars in savings away to those who qualify. If you're facing wage garnishment, threatening letters, audits, liens, levies, or already in a payment plan, you can now expedite the resolution to your tax problem, end collections, and even qualify to reduce a large portion of what you owe. Stop IRS Debt has established a relief hotline for you to call to check what savings and options you qualify for. Dial 800-518-9137. With many people facing job loss and rising cost of living, these special IRS initiatives are designed to aid delinquent taxpayers with the relief that they need to get a fresh start. For a free consultation to see what savings you qualify for, call 800-518-9137. 800-518-9137. 800-518-9137.
At Puccini's, we think less screen time and more quality mealtime is the better way. Eat, talk, and dine with less blue light glaring or talking heads blaring while enjoying great food at a reasonable price is the Puccini's way. Dine in for hot, delicious food prepared fresh and to your liking. If you need anything, we're right there so you'll leave full and happy. We have delivery options and carryout, but let's start dining in together again the way we all used to enjoy so much.
Puccini's Pizza, Pasta, Puccini's.
Coming up in 2 minutes from the Technology Recycler Studios, severe weather possibilities again tonight. What forecasters say you should know. What the Carmel City Council set aside money for, and a bill on transgender women in sports, and where it is at the State House now. Those stories and more after Fox News on 93 WIBC. WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 10 o'clock.
This is a Fox News alert. A lot more money being lost on Wall Street. I'm Dave Anthony. That opening bell ringing in a second straight sell-off on worries about new U.S. tariffs hurting the economy worldwide. The Dow is dropping almost 1,000 points the day after a bigger plunge. The Nasdaq's off about 3% the day after losing double that. But President Trump insists there will be a rebound and a U.S. manufacturing boom. Posting on Truth Social this morning, this is a great time to get rich and he'll never change his policies.
President Trump is unfazed, saying more tariffs are coming on semiconductor chips and also pharmaceuticals, and they'll be at a level never seen before. Now, that will have a big impact on China and may have factored into Beijing's announcement 34% retaliatory tariffs set for April 10th. The president says he's gotten calls from most countries and is open to negotiation if the offer is, quote, phenomenal.
Fox's Jackie Heinrich at the White House, which just put out a statement that the economy is starting to roar and the golden age of America is on its way after a much better than expected jobs report. Despite the unemployment rate inching up a tenth to 4.2%, hiring was nearly double February's revised lower numbers.
There were 228,000 new jobs created. Economists were predicting 135,000. It's a sign that job growth was strong heading into April's tariffs and uncertainty. The increase in hiring was concentrated in companies that tend to see business pick up in warmer weather.
Fox's Jenny Casola. More bad weather could hit the South for a third day in a row. Fox Weather's Robert Reyes in Lake City, Arkansas, where there's a lot of tornado damage.
Crews are out getting as much work as they can until the next round of severe weather comes through, and it is debris fields everywhere. As I walk carefully through this, power lines are down, power crews are out trying to get new poles up.
A man in Indiana was killed when he touched a live wire getting out of his car after driving over down lines. There were 5 storm deaths in Tennessee, another in Missouri. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Power outages and severe weather possibilities. Rain might move in again to central Indiana around 3 this afternoon. Partly cloudy and 51 in downtown Indy. I'm John Herrick. This report is brought to you by Window Nation. Here's what's trending at 10:02. Flooding is what the National Weather Service in Indianapolis is concerned about, not only tonight, but for the rest of the weekend. That's where Aaron Updike is a meteorologist.
So given the fact that we had 2 to 3 inches of rain Wednesday, whenever we get that succession of rain in multiple days, that's going to just ever grow that flood threat.
About 18,000 people in Indiana are still without power from Wednesday night storms. About 6,000 of those are AES Indiana customers. The Carmel City Council on Thursday set aside up to $250,000 to provide disaster relief and recovery help from Wednesday night's bad weather. An EF1 tornado touched touchdown in Carmel. Their disaster declaration runs through next Thursday. Indiana lawmakers have passed a bill that would prohibit transgender women from participating in women's college sports, regardless of whether the school is public or private. It's awaiting Governor Mike Braun's signature. Supporters of it say the legislation aims to maintain fairness for female athletes, while critics argue that the bill unfairly targets transgender students and fails to address larger issues in women's sports. The Fire Department Instructors Conference is about to begin in Indianapolis. Chris Davis reports on what firefighters from across the country say may be a life or death matter.
What might benefit you most is the new technology, like thermal imaging combined with AI to help firefighters see in thick smoke.
It can see partial lines and walls, and so it draws them in for you so that you can be better oriented.
David Rhodes is one of the organizers.
Some of the drones have thermal cameras so that they can help in your search efforts if you're looking for somebody in the dark. Out in the woods.
They've been in downtown Indianapolis for 30 years, but the conference has classes all over central Indiana next week. Chris Davis, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
The spring game for the Indiana Hoosier football team is less than 2 weeks away. IU defensive lineman Tyreek Tucker says there's a lot to look forward to with both his play and the team's performance.
Yeah, I'm pretty confident. I know I can do it in the Big Ten now. And, now I just got to go put out there and let the world see and, have that season, have that breakout season, as I feel like I can have.
The spring game is April 17th in Bloomington. The Hoosiers made the college football playoff last year. I'm Sean Herrick on The Level, on the go, and on WIBC.com. 10:04, Jerry and Casey coming back in 1 minute.
It's Hammer and Nigel for Window Nation. April's a great time to spruce up around the house, like getting rid of those old, ugly, drafty, hard-to-open windows and starting fresh, especially during Window Nation's Buy 4, Get 4 free sale going on now through April 30th. And if you buy a house full of windows, they'll include a free entry door, too. Plus, with 0% financing, 0 down, and no monthly payments, you could get new windows and pay nothing until 2027.
Window Nation partners with top window manufacturers in the nation to build windows to their high-quality specs. Then they pass those savings on to you. You'll protect your home with some of the best windows you can buy at a fraction of the price of some of those other brands. This sale ends April 30th. Do not miss your chance to take advantage of the Buy 4, Get 4 for free deal, and you don't pay anything until 2027. Schedule that estimate right now at 866-90-NATION or go to windownation.com.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
Yeah, I think if you were to get a big check, you'd want to hand deliver that into the bank. Would you trust your mobile banking to do that, the picture?
No, not a chance.
Probably not. Would you trust the ATM?
Not a chance.
No, you want to walk that
Put
thing.
it in a suitcase, handcuff it to my hand.
Right. It's not often you're getting big checks, so when you do, you want to make sure it gets to the proper people. It is the Kendall and Casey show. That is Jerry Lopez in for Rob Kendall today. Can we talk about this new bill that Senator Baldwin just introduced, and they're going to be voting on it on Monday? Talk about moving quick on this one. You notice they're going to move really quick on this, but slow walk any sort of property tax relief for you. So this is Senate Bill 318, and this requires disclosures and access of foreign media. So here we go. Scott Baldwin coming after the media. Let me just give you some low points of this bill. Requires certain media entities operating in Indiana to disclose 1, foreign ownership, 2, foreign funding, and 3, the use of foreign-sourced or influenced content. Okay, now, I don't really have a problem with 1 and 2
right,
about the foreign ownership or the foreign funding. The issue here is number 3, the use of foreign-sourced and influenced content. So my question is, how do you define foreign-sourced or influenced content?
I mean, technically, couldn't the BBC fall into that category?
It could. So is foreign-sourced, foreign influenced, does that mean we can no longer do stories about the King of England?
Nope.
Is that what that means? And do you then have to disclose all of your sources?
Are you going to do that every day for a rundown?
Well, that's what I'm wondering. Like, would we have to say,
We got this from BBC. We got this from this source.
this story comes from The Sun. This story comes from the Daily Mail. This writer is writing for the New York Post, but they're based out of London. I don't think that this is going to pass at all. And even if it does passes, I don't think that would stand up in court because you can't prove who's influencing you. That's kind of like a he said, she said thing. When, by the way, we're protected by the First Amendment.
Right. I mean, here's my thing. Scott Baldwin, I would recommend that he disclose, anything that he's voted on that's directly helped his construction business. Is that fair?
Yeah. Well, that's fair.
That sounds like some old Tony Soprano stuff.
Conflict of interest?
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't know.
Which one do you think affects more Hoosiers, Casey? Scott Baldwin's voting decisions or this bill that talks about foreign quote-unquote influence? And I agree with you 1 and 2. If China's paying us $50,000 to run pro-China stuff,
right,
we should know.
We should know.
Nobody's arguing against that.
Yeah.
But when you're talking about foreign influenced or foreign sourced, there's a lot of journalism that comes from outside of the United States.
Well, that means that you can't talk about anything globally then if it's foreign source.
Nope. And who's better to get information on Rwanda than a journalist in Rwanda?
In Rwanda, somebody who's based there. So I don't know. It sounds to me like maybe, Jerry, I don't know, maybe they've got someone in particular in mind.
Well,
now I know the Odyssey radio stations being owned by George Soros now, right?
Right.
That went through the FCC. But here in Indiana, I don't think any of them are very political.
How does the Ukraine-Russia thing play out with this bill?
Oh, good point.
Like,
Because
how
if
much of
you've
this
got a
is
foreign
Russian
foreign
influence?
correspondent over there
Or
reporting
Ukrainian
on that.
influence in an article?
Huh. Okay, so I don't.
We have bigger problems, Scott.
I don't. That just seems like a big waste of time.
This is what happens when you just want to pass a bill. You just throw something out there.
You're wasting time with stuff like this because it's not going to hold up.
Yeah, we're still waiting for Senate Bill 1, by the way.
Right.
This is 318.
And when was the property tax rally? March 17th?
Yeah.
And now it is April 4th. And finally, today at 3:30, they're going to put something out about any air quote progress that they've made with it.
If there was good progress, it'd be released at 10 o'clock in the morning so they could get that good pat on the back all day.
Right, exactly. The congratulations, not 3:30 on a Friday.
That's push it out. Also, I'm going home for the weekend.
Right. So okay. Let's move on and talk about what Donald Trump has said. He has expressed some interest in running against Barack Obama if the Constitution were allowing him to run for a third term. He said that, he's mentioned that people are asking him to run for a third term. And, there's this possible walk around involving J.D. Vance being on the top of the ticket with Donald Trump being his running mate. But you don't think that that's smart for him to say he'd want to run against Barack Obama?
No. And first of all, I think the whole thing is stupid.
Well,
right? It's stupid. I don't know if he's being serious. I'm sure he's trying to find something. It's got to go through all the Supreme Court. It's a big nothing to do.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want to believe that the election was stolen, then we have to look back on voter ID. We got to look back on ballot harvesting. We got to look back on mail-in ballots. We got to look back on all these different things. And we haven't fixed any of them. Do you think that'd be a problem if he ran against Barack Obama? He'd get ran out of the building. How many more votes do we need? 20 million? Bring them in.
So the amendment would require 2/3 approval in both the House and Senate.
Yeah, that's not happening.
And ratification by 2/4 of states, that would be defeated. So to change the Constitution to allow Donald Trump to run again. So that's just fun to talk about, I guess, but it's not reality. Now, the Interior Secretary, Doug Burgum, he said he believes there is enough room on Mount Rushmore to put Donald Trump's face up there.
I don't even know it. I'm a Trump guy, but it's becoming too much for me. It just is. Like, I support him, and I like what he's doing with the country. And I support the tariffs. I support the deportation. This is what I voted for. But let's stop putting these people on pedestals. right? Like, let's stop being the greatest ever. No, man.
Are we even 100 days in yet?
We're not even 70 days in yet.
I mean, I know it's coming up.
Right.
But especially with all the news that's happening with the tariffs and how that's going to play out, can we slow it down just a little bit? I mean, I'm with you. I was at a rally for him in Butler, Pennsylvania, but
sat behind him.
Just sat behind him, but to put his face on Mount Rushmore, Representative Anna Paulina Luna, she introduced a bill.
We could put her on Mount Rushmore. She's on my Mount Rushmore.
You don't want to put her face on Mount Rushmore. You want to put something else on Mount Rushmore.
There it is.
So if you added Trump, he would join George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Theodore Roosevelt, and also Abraham Lincoln.
Come on, man. Donald Trump up there with those guys. Let's be real.
Would you you'd look up at it and you'd be like, one of these doesn't belong.
Yeah.
One of these is much more.
It's Abraham Lincoln doesn't belong next to Donald Trump.
Modern. I mean, maybe one day. We'll see. Marion County lags behind a lot of the state and the nation in regards to health concerns. Now, this is according to the 2025 County Health Rankings. They were compiled by the University of Wisconsin, and they said that Marion County not doing so great is residents are not living quite as long as other people across the great state of Indiana. And this is to do with housing problems, high costs, and they cite the lack of kitchen facilities as well.
Is that like soup kitchens or something?
For putting, it just says lack of kitchen facilities for putting Marion County on this list of having health problems.
Maybe they don't have any kitchen facilities because people are starting to do their own gardens, their own chicken coops, their own just do DIY everything.
Mm-hmm. So residents of Marion County, they have a shorter life expectancy than the average Hoosier, but you mentioned chicken coops.
Yeah, it's a real thing. Eggs are no joke these days.
And what you were saying, it's easy.
Oh, it's easier to find weed than eggs.
Yeah.
I went to a corner one time. This guy was standing outside. I walked out. He's like, I got to. And I pulled up. It was 2 eggs in a Ziploc bag. Yeah, 75 cents.
That did not happen.
Okay. I bought 2 eggs on the low.
Okay, so backyard chicken coops, they're like booming right now.
Is that legal in the city? Can you have a chicken coop?
Oh, I don't know about
How
the legality.
annoying would it be to have your neighbor's chickens wake you up?
I've got that.
You do?
I have neighbors who have roosters.
Oh, I'm good, man. No thanks.
Oh, yeah, I hear them all the time. Do you have a yard big enough for a chicken coop?
I mean, how big do you need a yard for a chicken coop? Right?
That's true.
I would think like a 12 by 12 would be a huge chicken coop.
I guess it depends on how big you want your chicken coop to be. But the search for DIY chicken coop plans has jumped 212% just in the past 3 months.
I believe it.
So also interest in chicken coop run and chicken coop decor. So not only are we making the chicken coop, but we're decorating it as well.
That's the award for the whitest thing I've heard today. Chicken coop decor, Casey.
Chicken coop decor. So people are using like little signs. Right? There's different, you can make yours rustic and give yours the farmhouse feel. It's a chicken coop. It already has a farmhouse feel to it. Right?
That's crazy. Listen, the cartel is going to be smuggling in eggs here before too long. So just wait. Just wait.
Okay, so I guess if you're considering doing a DIY chicken coop, Jerry brought up a good point. Make sure it's legal, for one. But they say it's a big responsibility. You can't just pop that thing up. You got to maintain it. You got to take care of the wood. You got to check for damage. You got to have the food for the chickens, right? And then down the road you can decorate it.
Right, and then you have feed and you have clean it up. It's kind of like
you got to maintain it.
Yeah, it's like getting a puppy, and then when it's about 8 months old, you're like, I did not think this through.
So people say that one of the reasons they want to do the chicken coop, obviously self-sufficiency, and to reduce their grocery costs. And other people say, hey, I like the composting that it avails, but also just the idea that they can walk out into their backyard and get eggs whenever they want.
So that's
convenience.
It's so weird to me. Like, I get eggs, and I'm not an idiot. I know where the egg comes from, but it'd be so different. I don't know that I would trust myself.
What, to be able to raise the chickens?
To raise the chickens and get the eggs and not make myself sick.
Oh, okay. What about honey? Would you do bees?
No.
No? No. That seems like a lot of work as well.
Yeah.
Too scary?
Yeah, I'm not trying to get stung. I'm 44. I don't even know what happened.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show. It is 93 WIBC.
The agenda is taking shape.
Since Inauguration Day,
From education to energy.
We will drill, baby, drill.
From the economy to the military.
We will again build the strongest military the world has ever seen.
Watch it unfold day by day.
My first day back.
First 100 days.
It's a tough job, but I've had a lot of tough jobs.
Follow the first 100 days on 93 WIBC and WIBC.com.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Switch to Consumer Cellular and get your second month free for a limited time. You'll get the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Plans start at just $20 a month. Here's Veronica and Jackie, real customers.
I didn't know that I could get something for a lot less money that was actually better than who I was with before.
Anytime anybody complains about their cell phone bill, we say, you've got to check out Consumer Cellular.
And now for a limited time, new customers can get their second month free when they use promo code SECONDFREE. Just call, click, or bring us your bill and see how much you can save. Because when it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit a store near you, or consumercellular.com and use code SECONDFREE to get a free second month. Real people paid to share their opinions in this ad. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
You know exactly why you need to remodel that kitchen of yours. The space, it's outdated. You can't move around like you used to. It doesn't work like it needs to. You want to entertain and you want to improve your quality of life. This can happen, just not with the kitchen you have. You need to call Booher Remodeling, B-O-O-H-E-R, BooherRemodeling.com. They can take that old kitchen that's deteriorating and broken down and turn it into something that works for you and your family. Their 5-step design process from start to finish, the consultation, the preliminary design, the design development, getting all the documents together, and then getting it done. The best materials, the most skilled craftsmen in Central Indiana. Booher Remodeling will guide you through the entire process, starting with the free initial consultation, and they stand behind their work with a 2-year workmanship guarantee. Create that new kitchen. Design experts can use an existing layout or begin completely from scratch. Talk to Booher Remodeling today. B-O-O-H-E-R. BooherRemodeling.com. That's BooherRemodeling.com.
Trust employee owned. B Windows extending our employee discount to you. Up to 55% off, plus 18 months, no interest, no payments. Trust your home to B.
Sweet home Alabama, where the skies are blue.
So you got some basketball this weekend. I know you had mentioned that you're going to go to that indoor football game in Fishers possibly tonight. You might go check that out. But I have a feeling you're going to be watching some basketball this weekend.
Oh yeah, it's we're down to the nitty gritty now.
Yeah,
after this, I don't really watch pro basketball. As a Yankee fan, baseball season doesn't start till the playoffs, so it's just kind of dead now for me till then.
It is that dead space.
Yeah.
Right? You're wearing your Yankees hat today. By the way, you can watch us on YouTube if you'd like. Just type in Kendall and Casey into the YouTube search bar. My name is Casey Daniels. Rob Kendall has the day off. And that is Jerry Lopez, who is filling in. Thanks for coming in today, Jerry. But let's talk about the NCAA tournament Final Four. You got Auburn, Florida, Duke, and Houston. All teams number 1 seeds. That makes it the first time all the top seeds reach the Final Four since 2008. They've all had exceptional regular seasons, but that kind of makes it boring to watch because there's been no Cinderella story.
Yeah, NIL killed Cinderella.
That's it exactly, right?
Yeah. When you can start paying kids millions of dollars, they no longer have the kids that have been at George Washington for 4 years, kids that have been at Butler. The Butler story is gone because now Gordon Hayward's going to get $3 million to go play for Pitt for 1 year. They're like 1-year assassins is what they are.
So you've got Florida versus Auburn Saturday, 6 o'clock. That one's in San Antonio. And then at 8:49, Duke and Houston also in San Antonio.
Yeah, my bracket is, so my finals, Florida and Duke. My standings currently, of all the people that are in my bracket, my daughter's winning, which is really weird.
How did she pick her teams?
I don't even know. But she has Auburn as her champ. We got Sue Finkham's in 3rd, Mayor of Carmel. Scott Willis, Mayor of Westfield's in 4th. The Lieutenant Governor, tied with everybody at 4th. I'm at 6th. Mario Masalami, Hamilton County GOP chairman, is sitting in 11th. And so we'll see
Chris
what happens.
Jensen?
Chris Jensen's sitting at 11th. This is a big weekend. Because everybody had the same teams.
Yeah.
So as soon as Auburn, Florida's over, we're going to get a big mix-up. But I'm really excited. It just sucks that, Casey,
You've got the Gators winning, right?
Yeah, the older I get, the
that's who I
faster
said.
time goes.
Yeah.
Like the season's over. It's like the year is a fifth over.
So I've got a couple questions for you based on your bracket, and you posted this at Indy Spanglish on X.
Yep.
And you can see these results. My first question is, you've got a lot of people playing that I'm wondering how this went down, because you mentioned them all. Spen and Sue Finkham is in there. You got the lieutenant governor in there. Mario Masalami's in there. Chris Jensen. So some local politicians playing. What did you do? Did you send out an email? Did you call them?
I have
beers with these people?
I have
What's going
with
on?
these people. Yeah, I have relationships with these people, mostly because of social media, that I have relationship with them. But the reality is Scott, I lived in Westfield. Scott Willis is a good friend of mine. So once I get Scott Willis, now it's easier to go to Sue Finkham. And then once I go to Chris Jensen, I'm going, Scott and Sue are already in.
Right.
He's jumping. I would have liked to get Scott Fadness from Fishers. Didn't get him, but yeah. I think people were happy to get in.
So what was the buy-in?
Your pride, because if you lose to me, you're going to hear about it.
Okay, so there was
free.
there was no $5 or no beer bet or any sort of challenge, because Rob and Hammer had their bet, and it was about a post on X, which Hammer posted yesterday. So yours is just
for fun,
Coke and a smile.
That's it. Yeah.
Okay, well, that's interesting. I'm glad that they're playing along with you. I wish you the best of luck. And what does your daughter think about being in this bracket with all of these local politicians?
She doesn't care. She couldn't care less.
She just
wants to win.
along.
Yeah, she doesn't.
Yeah,
care.
she just wants bragging rights so she can say, I did better than the mayor of Carmel.
I did better, lieutenant governor. Yeah.
There you go. Another thing that I wanted to mention with you, you've got a speaking engagement coming up, don't you?
Yeah. There's a Hendricks County Family Day. There's going to be multiple speakers. The new Hendricks County GOP chairman, Phil Clay, a friend of mine, is putting on this event, which I think is going to be a great event. Just asked me to come out, and I really enjoy doing this because I'm not your typical Republican, and I think it's very important that other people see. Like, they're not just old.
What do you mean by you're not the typical Republican?
When people talk about Republicans' conservatism, what do you, Nazi or rich white guy? Or it's like, no, this guy is a vet.
Buttoned up dudes in suits?
Yeah, this guy's a vet. He's a minority. His family's from Cuba. He was raised by a single mom, and he is conservative. Right? And I think that the party needs to do a good job of branching out to everybody.
Yeah.
Because let's be honest, conservative values are the same as Hispanic values. Right? They're the same as most values in African-American homes. Same thing, right? God, family, work hard, all these things. So we need to get back to just meeting these people where they are.
Okay.
So I'm super excited to get out there.
So this is a Freedom and Family Fun Day. They're going to have music, speakers, community leaders, and more. Yep. I'm always curious about the and more. But food trucks, crafts, games, prizes. It's going to happen. Are you going to be crafting while you're there?
No crafting.
Okay. It's going to be April 26th at the Charleston Pavilion, and that is in Plainfield from 11 until 2. If you want to see Jerry Lopez speaking at the Hendricks County Republican Party Freedom Community Family Day.
It's a mouthful.
It is. It's a lot. It's a lot. You can get the details on his X account. How did you do with the storm? So the National Weather Service has confirmed that it was a EF1 tornado that hit Carmel and an EF2 tornado that hit Hendricks County. Where were you? What was it like at the Lopez house?
So I was out in Noblesville, and let's be honest, I've never heard of a tornado hitting the city. Right? When you hear of tornadoes, at least from my experience, it's somewhere out in the more rural area, and it's unfortunate, but I rationalize it and think, well, there's nothing to break the wind. It's just going across farmland, and these places get caught up. So when I heard, I think the first time it really came on my radar was Brownsburg. They said, there's a tornado in Brownsburg.
Yeah.
My brother lives in Brownsburg. And I went, I think there's a tornado coming in. And then they said Zionsville.
Yeah.
And then they started naming cities. And I started thinking, this thing is real. This is different.
They're not making this up.
It's now in Carmel. It's approaching Noblesville Fishers. And I'm in my head going, is the tornado driving up 146th Street? Like, this is crazy to me. At that time, all right, kids, point of no return. Grab your blanket, grab your iPad, grab whatever, everybody in the bathroom.
Yeah, so that's what you did. You went to the interior room in the house, and you were there with the kids, right?
For a good, 2.5 hours.
Really?
Yeah.
So it was a while.
But it was just hit or miss. And what I didn't want to do is, all right, get out. All right, we got to go back in.
Right.
Because there were just so many storms that were happening.
Yeah, so you figured once we're in here, we're just going to make the most of it.
Have to.
That's some close quarters, and you've got teenage children.
Yeah.
How'd that go down?
Did not go well, but we got through it. We're all alive. And I was better.
And that's the most important part.
Better chance of me killing them than the tornadoes killing us.
Possibly. We didn't really have that interior bathroom room to go into, so we went the room in our house, I guess, without windows was the garage, so that's where we went. And I tell you, at one point it started shaking the garage door, and Jim was like, I don't know, this may not be such a great place. Maybe we should just go in the hallway. And so we grabbed the motorcycle helmets and put those on.
No way.
Yeah, we did.
That's hilarious.
Well, I mean,
but have you ever done that before? So this was new for you too, where you're like, this is different this time.
Yeah, it was because, we had not lived through a storm that big in this new place that we're in.
What city are you guys in? What area?
We're west side of Marion County.
But in the city?
Indianapolis.
Okay.
And when they said it's coming on the west side and then the sirens went off, that's when, we got to do something. And so we weren't quite sure where in the house to go, and we ended up in the garage. And when the garage door started rattling, I thought, you know what? Let's get those motorcycle
rip that
helmets
thing right
on.
off there.
Yeah, it could have. So we got to figure out a better place if there's a next time. We do have a lot of rain that's on the way. It's not supposed to be as severe as it was, but there is that chance of flooding.
But 'tis the season, Indiana.
With the rain that it's going to be coming.
'Tis the season. There was a video that I saw on X or Facebook that was the tornado in Carmel.
Yeah, I saw that.
116th Street.
Did you see the video of the guy that was out shooting hoops?
No.
In Carmel?
No.
Yeah, it was like the sirens were going off, the rain was coming down, and somebody had a video of guy was just out playing basketball.
In 49 other states, it's just basketball, but this is Indiana.
Indiana.
Shoot or shoot.
Okay, we've got some voicemails coming up, and some people want to express their opinions on cars. You know what I'm talking about. One car specifically. It is the Kendall and Casey Show. It's 93 WIBC.
Spring is on its way, and the greenhouse will be filling up soon at Sundown Gardens. The nursery lot is filling up with a great selection of trees and shrubs arriving weekly. Don't miss out on getting an early start to the planting season. And while we wait for the greenhouse to stock up, take advantage of finishing indoor spring decorations. 20% off all gift shop decor at Miss Mary's Gift Shop. Sundown Gardens is now open Sundays from 11 to 4. Sundown Gardens, located on the corner of Spring Mill and 186th Street in Westfield. SundownGardens.com.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
The flood threat and the severe threat. Cloudy and 51 degrees in the Circle City. Today's high 61. I'm Sean Herrick. Here's what's trending at 10:31. Neither of those things are things you should ignore this evening. That's the message from Aaron Updike with the National Weather Service in Indianapolis.
So even an inch of rain can cause some flash flooding in areas. So we'll be looking at that very closely tonight as an office, and we'll be issuing those flash flood warnings if we see that we're getting flooding that's occurring.
He says damaging winds could also be a factor, and tornadoes cannot be ruled out. More than 18,000 people in Indiana are still without power because of Wednesday night's weather. Stocks are sinking for a second straight day on Wall Street. China retaliated with their own tariffs on U.S. goods after President Trump announced global tariffs on almost every country earlier this week. Right now, the Dow is down almost 1,400 points. And this weekend at the movies...
Anything you can dream about? You can create.
A Minecraft movie is building momentum at the box office. The latest film, based on a video game, brought in an estimated $7 million in Thursday previews, and it's expected to make at least $75 million this weekend. I'm Sean Herrick, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
For over 20 years, Howard Bailey Financial has been helping families just like yours gain clarity, confidence, and purpose with personal and practical financial strategies. And now, we're offering our full suite of services on Rangeline Road, right in the heart of Carmel, making it even easier to meet with our experienced team face-to-face. Whether you're planning for retirement, navigating life transitions, or just need guidance for your financial future, we're here to walk with you every step of the way. Text CARMEL to 888-262-1104 to download a free retirement resource. Howard Bailey Financial, helping you turn hope into a plan and dreams into reality. Howard Bailey Securities, LLC is an independent financial services firm and uses a variety of different investment strategies. Please see disclosures at howardbailey.com.
You still thinking job change in the new year? Yeah, I need something that's in high demand and more stable in this economy. IT? Yeah, cybersecurity, maybe even AI. That's what I did. Really? How? Went to My Computer Career. You don't need any prior experience, and you could start your new career in a matter of months. A lot of IT pros go to school there, too, to level up. Sweet. Are classes online or on campus? Both. Wow, I'll check it out. Thanks.
Make this your year. Take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students.
David was in big trouble with the IRS.
At first, I didn't owe that much, but after this year, it was out of control.
Then David called Get a Tax Lawyer.
Right away, they were like, oh yeah, looks like you're qualified to save.
Get a Tax Lawyer went to work.
Should have called way sooner.
Get a Tax Lawyer has helped thousands like David fight the IRS and get a fresh start.
Call 800-745-3070. That's 800-745-3070.
Hey, fellow Gen Xers, it's Elizabeth Banks. Big news! The recommended age for pneumococcal pneumonia vaccination has been lowered to 50 and older, even if you're healthy. It's up to us to lead the charge. After all, we gave the world the internet. We're trailblazers. Let's lead the way again because we are at over 6 times greater risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Gen X, this is our shot. Head to vaxassist.com and schedule today. That's vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC. It's time to hear from you. Kendall and Casey present voicemails.
The phone number, if you'd like to get involved, 317-684-8444 with the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC. Jerry Lopez is in for Rob Kendall today. And we focus on a car, specifically a Tahoe. You know what I'm talking about. It was discovered that the lieutenant governor has a nearly $90,000 vehicle, $88,000 vehicle. A lot of people are not happy about this. It's a 2025 Chevy Tahoe High Country, and it was purchased in February. And so should we get into it?
We're going to have no choice but to hear about it.
Okay, so here's phone call number 1 about the car.
Hi, I was listening to your show yesterday, and when you were talking about Lieutenant Governor and his Denali, I believe he is the senior pastor at Life Church, and as a ambassador to God, and as a senior person in a church, we're instructed to be. Never mind. I can't talk.
That was pretty funny. Never mind. Okay, so the Denali is the vehicle that the Secretary of State drives. The vehicle that the Lieutenant Governor drives is a Chevy Tahoe. And they have come out and they said, hey, the previous administration's car was in multiple collisions. It had mechanical problems, and it wouldn't accommodate all the staff that they wanted. So,
that guy made it sound like, you ever seen Righteous Gemstones on HBO with like the guy from the Connors, the dad or whatever? They're like all the preachers, the preacher family mega church. This is what he made it sound like. As a man of God.
Right. He should be.
Yeah. Come on, man.
Okay. Here's another call about the car.
Hi, Rob and Casey. This is Indiana Joe down here in Texas. I listened to you this morning, and I'm listening to Rob on Hammer and Nigel right now. I have a different perspective. Mike, as a pastor at a fairly big church, he's probably doing the unwashed masses a favor from stepping down from his Cadillac Denali or Mercedes G-Wagon to ride around in a cheap Chevy that probably doesn't even have cooled seats. It probably just has heated seats. So, it's not our fault. He's a big guy. Obviously, women don't take up as much room and probably aren't as good at drivers, so they don't need the extra safety.
Wow.
That's his perspective. You have to give the guy some slack. He's only living the life he's used to living.
Women taking strays there.
Yeah, exactly.
For no reason.
That's,
Just threw that in there.
Yeah, he did. Well, I mean, it is based on the quote that Micah Beckwith gave to the Indy Star, saying that he had some big guys working with him and he needed a big vehicle. And I don't know what car he used to drive.
Isn't that standard? Big trucks are standard for government people typically. Like for Jim Banks, same thing. The lieutenant governor, same thing. None of them are rolling around a Honda Accord.
I think one of the interesting things about this is that the lieutenant governor's office has cut spending, and they've, Governor Braun asked them to cut 5% across the board, and they haven't renewed $150,000 in contracts. And that really didn't get anybody's attention, did it?
No, but I think it's an honest question. If you cut $150,000, but you spend $90 on a car, you cut $60.
Right. No, I get.
But if you need the car regardless, but I think that's the mindset is like, sweet, you're saving money, but you're just spending it over here.
Yeah, no, and I completely understand that it makes the savings less. My point is that everybody wants to talk about the car, but nobody wanted to talk about the savings.
No.
So it's just it's what the car talk is, just sexier talk. It's something to be angry about. And
well, somebody gave them that opinion because most people don't care what car any of these people drive.
Yeah.
So somebody said you need to be upset about this.
Except for this next phone call, they've got a suggestion on what he should be driving.
Just thinking about the whole vehicle thing for these state employees. Who says they need an SUV to go around? They're not economical at all. The first vehicle that popped into my mind was a Honda Odyssey. It's a good, reliable minivan. Got a good, solid engine. It's, very, sturdy. If somebody decides to run into it or whatever. Hopefully that won't happen, but even so, and I think those run about $40,000 or so, maybe 50 tops, and they're a lot more economical to operate.
How much is it?
So we looked it up. It was $43,000 for a brand new one. This year's Honda Odyssey.
Mm-hmm.
Now, good point here. Most men don't want to drive a minivan. But he's already married, so who cares what any women think about you driving the minivan?
Yeah, it's a good point. Another suggestion on a car that he could be driving.
Hey, guys. This is your driver. Was just wondering if our lieutenant governor needed a vehicle to haul around big guys. Why didn't he buy a 16-passenger van that you can get for 25 to 30 grand instead of an 80 grand SUV?
Should have got a Mercedes Sprinter.
Can you imagine pulling in and out of places with that sort of thing?
Just a clown car, just people just streaming out of.
Right.
How many people are in that thing?
I don't know. I mean, it's not a good look. He didn't need the high-end trim package chrome, that sort of vehicle. I don't have a problem with him having a reliable. I don't even have a problem with it being a new car.
Right.
Because they do drive a lot across the state. They are in their vehicles a lot. So
what do you think the issue is? In these economic times, people are offended that he would spend that? Or do you think it's Rob?
I think it looks hypocritical when you're saying, hey, we need to cut spending and I Doge. And then there's this, brand new, top of the line vehicle. I'm not even going to call it a luxury vehicle, but it did come with some options that maybe weren't needed, that jacked up the price. There was a less expensive car available that could have been chosen. So it doesn't look good. And I don't know, does he trade it in at this point? Get
No.
something else?
No,
Or do you, just say,
you stay firm.
do you just apologize? Do you move on? Just hope that, people look at some of the savings?
Who knows? I think one of the things that works against him is just that Rob and him obviously have a great relationship, and Rob is always the one that's talking about accountability, overspending.
Correct.
And now they're going, Rob, that's your boy. What are we?
Yeah, but Rob called him out.
Yeah,
and
good.
No, this isn't good.
Good.
So for everybody who's saying, "Hey, that's your boy,"
yeah,
no, he agreed.
Good.
It was not a smart move on his part. Here's another phone call. This one about the weather coverage right here on WIBC.
Hey, man, let me say this. I want to thank your radio station for broadcasting the weather situation yesterday. Lost internet, going down the radio dial, picked up WIBC and News 8 with the weather. I appreciate that because our internet went down, and this new TV, digital TV, it ain't no good when we get weather like that. Thank you, guys. Y'all keep doing what you're doing with Radio 1.
It's interesting. He knew the company.
He knew the company.
Not
company
just
man.
WIBC. He said Radio 1. Do you think that phone call was a plant?
Yeah, that was Dion.
that was the big boss.
But he had a great point. Radio is super. There's no more important time than radio when you have stuff like that and you need to know what's going on.
Yeah.
Right? And to this point, you got a smart TV, the internet's out, bub. You can't even connect to anything.
Right, exactly. And the one thing that I always love about radio is that you can like MacGyver it back together. When there's an issue at the TV station, it takes a handful of engineers and some equipment to get it back up.
Yep.
Radio, give me a rubber band and a paper clip and we'll get you on the air. We'll get it back. Here's a phone call. This person has a riddle for us.
Here's a riddle for Robin Casey. Are there two houses on East 82nd Street in Indianapolis between North Meridian and College whose property taxes didn't increase? And love your program.
So for those wondering, the governor's mansion is located at 4750 North Meridian Street. I don't know the other house she's referring to.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering as well. Is that the governor's house? Is that the riddle? So, of course, we've been mentioning today that they're supposed to come out with some, announcement at 3:30 this afternoon regarding SB1, the property tax bill, and I'm not expecting anything great from that. Or why would they announce it at 3:30 on a Friday? Try to bury that over the weekend. But then the House Ways and Means Committee, they have a scheduled meeting at 10:30 on Monday where they're going to amend and vote, and I'm sure it's just ram it right through as quickly as possible because it's not going to be good news for us. Here's a phone call. This one about something that Tony Katz covered this morning.
I heard a story this morning on Tony Katz. It was about 6:50 this morning. And the fact that Mike Pence has been nominated for the Kennedy Profiles in Courage Award. And after you get done laughing about that, Tony Katz, in his 5-minute feature on that, stated the facts that he should not be accepting it, he being Mike Pence, and went thoroughly through the whole idea of the fact that they just want to use him as a stooge. Folks, you might just want to take a listen to what Tony Katz said, and I am hot and cold on some of the things that Mr. Katz says sometimes, but he was spot on this.
Okay, so Pence released a statement saying that he was humbled and honored to receive the award. And if you want to hear what Tony Katz had to say about that, by all means, go back and listen. Just do it at noon. Hammer's going to join us next on 93 WIBC.
3 words. Beer Sample Friday. That's what's coming up this afternoon on the Hammer and Nigel show. The biggest stories in Indy. We'll talk some tariffs. Jeff Boggs is in for Nige, 93 WIBC.
Indiana patients rely on many types of pharmacies to access their medications and critical healthcare services. But a proposal being considered in the Indiana legislature called SB 140 would disrupt access to medications for Indiana patients. SB 140 would impose government mandates blocking access to critical pharmacy options and services in Indiana. Lost access to pharmacy options would directly harm many of Indiana's most vulnerable patients. including patients fighting cancer and heart disease, many of whom rely on specialty pharmacies for their care. SB 140 would even hike costs for Indiana patients by imposing a $10 tax on every prescription filled in the state. That would often fall directly on the patient. Tell your state legislator, protect access to medications, reject higher costs. Put Indiana patients first by voting no on SB 140, paid for by conservatives for lower healthcare costs.
Turning 65, new to Medicare, or just moved? If you qualify for Medicare and Medicaid, a Humana Dual Eligible Special Needs Plan, a DSNP, may give you the extra benefits you're looking for. A DSNP helps cover things like prescriptions and checkups, but it also helps pay for essentials too. With a Humana DSNP, you get $225 a month for eligible groceries, rent, utilities, and more. Plus, whatever you don't spend carries over to the next month. You may even get benefits like $0 copays on routine prescriptions, plus routine dental, vision, or hearing coverage. All of this could make a difference for your health and wallet. Learn more at gethumana.com. Humana, a more human way to healthcare. Humana is a coordinated care HMO SNP plan with a Medicare contract and a contract with the Indiana Medicaid program. Enrollment in any Humana plan depends on contract renewal. Allowance amounts cannot be combined with other benefit allowances. Limitations and restrictions may apply.
Garage Doors of Indianapolis is everything that's right about Central Indiana. They've been locally family-owned for 50 years, helping our local economy remain strong by employing 70 families. Garage Doors of Indianapolis is proud to do business right here in the great state of Indiana. They're a conservative-minded company that shares our values and stands by their products and services. You can call Garage Doors of Indianapolis today for service today. 875-4577, 875-4577, or visit doorstoday.com.
This is a special notice to all U.S. taxpayers with back taxes to the IRS. Billions in tax relief is now being made available to struggling taxpayers, giving thousands, even tens of thousands of dollars in savings away to those who qualify. If you're facing wage garnishment, threatening letters, audits, liens, levies, or already in a payment plan, you can now expedite the resolution to your tax problem, end collections, and even qualify to reduce a large portion of what you owe. Stop IRS Debt has established a relief hotline for you to call to check what savings and options you qualify for. Dial 800-518-9137. With many people facing job loss and rising cost of living, these special IRS initiatives are designed to aid delinquent taxpayers with the relief that they need to get a fresh start. For a free consultation to see what savings you qualify for, call 800-518-9137. 800-518-9137. 800-518-9137.
Hey, it's Matt Bear. Warm weather is coming, and now's the time to call Concrete Exteriors to beat the spring rush. Roofing, siding, windows, doors, gutters, and more. My friends at Concrete Exteriors will give you a free consultation with options to meet your budget, and all without the high pressure or gimmicky sales tactics. Over 10,000 satisfied area customers, a lifetime workmanship warranty. It's why Cochran Exteriors is my choice. Visit CochranExteriors.com.
It's tax season, and at LifeLock, we know you're tired of numbers. But this one you need to hear. $16.5 billion. That's how much money in refunds the IRS flagged for possible identity fraud last year. Now, here's a good number. 100 million. That's how many data points LifeLock monitors every second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it guaranteed. Oh, one last number. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit LifeLock.com for the threats you can't control. Terms apply.
Tune in Saturdays 9 to 1 for the Home and Garden Show for advice and fun. Brought to you by Michaelis. Water, storms, fire, and wet basements. Life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it.
You want to listen all day to WIPC, but you don't always have time. Don't worry. There's a podcast for that. The WIBC Mashup. Daily highlights from your favorite hosts, Tony Katz, Kendall and Casey, and Hammer and Nigel. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
There he is from the #1 rated Hammer and Nigel show, Jason Hammer in the studio. Hello.
Can we talk about the strong shirt game that Spanglish is rocking today? The Thug Life Golden Girls t-shirt.
I know. Isn't that funny?
That may be the best thing I'm going to see all day long right there. That is so good. The other best thing you may see, I posted about it on our Hammer and Nigel Facebook and Twitter. the college photo of Rob Kendall.
Yeah, baby college Rob, beautiful human is what he said. I texted him about this last night and I said, "You look angry. Was this a mugshot?" And he said it was his college ID.
Yeah, that was his college ID.
Mm-hmm.
And again, you can see it, Hammer and Nigel, Facebook or Twitter. I said that it looks like Rob is either an inmate at a women's prison or one of those WNBA players that's mad at Caitlin Clark for some reason. Like, that's what college Rob looks like right there.
He's rocking the PacSun shell necklace and everything.
Yeah, he is. His hair's all spiked up. He does look like he's pursing his lips a little, like he's mad about something.
There's a little stubble and some flannel that says, "I've never been to an Everclear concert, but I'm going to talk about Everclear."
It looks like an audition photo for like Real World 6.
Can I read some of the comments on our Facebook page?
Yeah.
This one's my favorite. Rob looks like the lead singer of a crappy band who's mad at Donald Trump for using one of his songs at a rally.
There we go.
This is what a female police officer looks like. Oh, come on. That's not very nice. Scroll through here. He looks like a starting midfielder for a Division II women's soccer team. A lot of punchable faces on there. Yep. Rob looks like he wants to talk to your manager.
Okay.
Rob looks like the kind of guy whose dime bag guy didn't come through right before the picture.
Yes, he does.
He's jonesing.
Let's see. Reading some of these other comments, he looks like a Justin Timberlake groupie.
He does. That picture does.
So you can jump on and leave your own comment of what you think Rob looks like.
You posted something else yesterday which shocked me. I saw the original, which was the picture of Nigel on the beach. You said you cropped out his chest area.
Well, he did. Nige sent that picture.
Okay.
There's a group text between Jeff Boggs, myself, and Nige.
Yeah.
And we were just asking him, hey, give us a picture of what you're doing right now on vacation.
Yeah.
So he sends us this picture of him, like, shirtless on a chair. But he crops out his nips.
Right.
Now, first of all, this is growth because Nige, for a long time, is wear your shirt in the pool guy.
No way.
So I think he's feeling pretty good because he's lost a little weight
Yeah,
here.
good for
He doesn't
him.
have the Ric Flair man boobs like he used to have. So he sends us this picture, crops it out, and it's like, okay, fine. What can I do with this? Because this looks like quite possibly the most feminine picture I've ever seen in my life. So I used some of my AI skills,
Yes,
and
you
we
did.
repurposed that. And there was one that I can't even post that I made, but there's another one that we shared, and it shows Nige getting up from that chair, walking away, wearing a European-style thong.
No,
Yes, yeah.
The AI that you post has me dying consistently.
Yeah,
they
there's-
they look so real.
There's butt cheeks
Here,
in
Jerry,
that.
did I show Jerry that one?
Oh my God. That is hilarious.
So I saw the original pic and I was like, okay, cool, yeah. And then yesterday evening while I was working on the show for today, I saw it pop up again. I thought, well, that's weird. There it is again. But then he started moving and then the butt cheeks.
Yes.
I was not prepared. It's like some things you just can't unsee,
Yeah, that's been shared a number of times, and so has my losing tweet to Joe Hogsett yesterday.
Yes.
I lost the bracket challenge to Rob, so he got to pick a politician I had to send a tweet to, and he got to draft the tweet. So I had to send a tweet to Joe Hogsett yesterday. Listen, I'm a man of my word.
Yeah.
I sent the tweet out, and I'm going to read it for you.
Yeah.
At Indy Mayor Joe. Sorry for implying for years you disappeared during the riots because you were in rehab. Nothing in your past would lead anyone to believe that you're a raging alcoholic. You've also done a wonderful job with violence, roads, snow removal, and not letting your employees sexually harass their subordinates.
Yeah.
You letting Thomas Carl Cook come back a few years ago was a first-rate move.
Yeah, there you go. Wow. Well, none of that's really true, is it?
But 157 people have liked it. There's like 30 plus shares on it. I'm like, somebody's going to see that for the first time and think I'm carrying Joe's water.
Hey, are you going to be at the football game? Fisher's Event Center?
Not tonight. No, not this weekend. I am not there.
Are you fueling?
I don't know when I'm doing fuel again. I'm the backup guy, right?
Okay.
And I usually get 24 hours notice if somebody's sick or whatever. So, but no, I'd love to. It looks fun.
Yeah.
You've got Jeff Boggs joining you today.
Yes, and Rob Kendall's going to call in at 4.
Nice.
To talk about how
3:30.
Yeah. 3:30, we're going to find out how we're getting screwed on property tax. Rob's going to call our show with a recap at 4.
Cool. Thanks, Hammer. It is Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
Is your financial advisor offering you up to a 30% upfront bonus? Are they promising you up to 10% growth per year guaranteed for your retirement income? If not, you need a new financial advisor. I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. If you plan to retire within the next 10 years, don't wait only to find out it's too late. I've seen hard-working folks like you retire only to be required to go back to work, all because their advisor told them guarantees like these were too good to be true. They're not. That's up to $30,000 up front or up to $10,000 per year on $100,000, all guaranteed for retirement income. Don't work when you're supposed to be retired. And if any financial advisor tells you it's too good to be true, they simply don't have the options we do. Call Trajan today at 317-480-4040.
Annuity guarantees are based on the claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company.
Nobody likes a cold shower. LD Smith has hot deals on water heaters. Save up to $300 on a new water heater install.
LD Smith Plumbing.
A dirty, stinking honest.
Hey, fellow Gen Xers, it's Elizabeth Banks. Big news! The recommended age for pneumococcal pneumonia vaccination has been lowered to 50 and older, even if you're healthy. It's up to us to lead the charge. After all, we gave the world the internet. We're trailblazers. Let's lead the way again because we are at over 6 times greater risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Gen X, this is our shot. Head to vaxassist.com and schedule today. That's vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
At Diamonds Direct, our experts go the extra mile to ensure you have the tools to say I do with absolute confidence. Our promise to you is a completely risk-free shopping experience rooted in transparency, education, and integrity. No pressure, no intimidation, just clarity and confidence in your purchase. But we're about more than just price. Everything is backed by our exclusive guarantees. Put our tools to the test against any competitor, and our expert staff will ensure you get the very best overall value and unforgettable experience. Learn more at diamondsdirect.com. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion.
Trust employee owned. B Windows extending our employee discount to you. Up to 55% off, plus 18 months, no interest, no payments. Trust your home to B.
Coming up in 2 minutes from the Technology Recycler Studios, the latest on the upcoming potential for severe weather in Indiana, as well as the power outages. What Indiana lawmakers are saying about a bill regarding transgender people and sports. And it's football that you might not be used to seeing. Those stories and more after Fox News Radio on 93 WIBC. WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 11 o'clock.
Another stock market plunge. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. The Dow is down another 3+%. It's plunged over 3,000 points in 2 days amid concern about new U.S. tariffs on imports and retaliation from countries like China hurting the economy worldwide. Now, President Trump posted on Truth Social this morning, China panicked. The one thing it can't afford to do. He says the market will rebound and there will be a U.S. manufacturing boom as Secretary of State Marco Rubio gets an earful from our concerned allies at a NATO meeting in Brussels and pushes back.
Rubio told reporters global markets will adjust to new rules on U.S. trade.
I don't think it's fair to say economies are crashing. Markets are crashing because markets are based on the stock value of companies who today are embedded in modes of production that are bad for the United States.
Rubio says the U.S. cannot continue to be a country that does not make things.
As Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House, which put out a statement that the economy is starting to roar after a better-than-expected hiring update for March, nearly double February's revised lower numbers.
There were 228,000 new jobs created. Economists were predicting 135,000. The unemployment rate rose to 4.2% from 4.1% in February.
That's Fox's Jenny Casola. What's happening with tariffs and stocks and U.S. policy has upset Democrats.
Donald Trump is betraying us.
Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer this morning ahead of votes in the Senate advancing a budget blueprint that includes extending the 2017 Trump tax cuts.
Billionaires win, American families lose.
But Republican Senator Jim Banks just told Fox that's offensive, and the opposite is true.
It's teachers and factory workers and mechanics and working class people that those tax cuts are going to help more than anybody else when you make them permanent.
The bodies of 4 American soldiers who died during a training exercise in Lithuania are being flown back today. President Trump won't be at the dignified transfer at Dover Air Force Base, but Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth will be. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
There's a lot that has their attention. Your radar is all clear around the Indy Metro right now. 51 degrees on Monument Circle. I'm John Herrick. Here's what's trending at 11:02. No matter where you are in Indiana tonight, rain, wind, and more are all things you'll likely be dealing with. Ryan Hedrick reports.
Forecasters are concerned about the threat of flooding.
I would say that threat is higher than the severe threat tonight.
Aaron Updike warns you not to drive into a puddle that looks shallow.
So given the fact that we had 2 to 3 inches of rain Wednesday, but look, whenever we get that succession of rain in multiple days, that's going to just ever grow that flood threat.
Updike adds.
So even an inch of rain can cause some flash flooding in areas.
But he says the threat of severe weather can bring wind, hail, and tornadoes. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Updike is a forecaster with the National Weather Service. Roughly 18,000 people in Indiana are still without power because of Wednesday night's weather. $250,000. That's what was set aside Thursday night by the Carmel City Council to help with disaster relief. That disaster declaration runs through next Thursday. An EF1 tornado was confirmed to have hit Carmel on Wednesday, and there was an EF2 in Brownsburg. Protecting girls from biological boys who have repeatedly shown a history of hurting them in competitive sports is the point of a bill that just passed in the state Senate, says Senator Chris Garten.
Maybe you've heard of the name Peyton McNabb, North Carolina high school student who took a spiked volleyball off of the face. That girl now has to live with a traumatic brain injury the rest of her life because that ball was spiked by a biological male.
The bill passed Thursday bans transgender females from competing on women's sports teams at any public or private university in Indiana. Now it's headed to Governor Braun's desk. Critics of it say it unfairly targets transgender students. If you need to get gas today, Gas Buddy says the statewide average is $3.30 a gallon. And the Fishers Freight football team has their first ever home game this evening at the new Fishers Event Center. Kickoff at 7 against the Tulsa Oilers. The Freight compete in the Indoor Football League, which started in 2008 and now has 14 teams. I'm John Herrick on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com. It's 11:04. Jerry and Casey coming back in 1 minute.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? When it comes to Big Wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Switch to Consumer Cellular and get your second month free for a limited time. You'll get the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Plans start at just $20 a month. Here's Veronica and Jackie, real customers.
I didn't know that I could get something for a lot less money that was actually better than who I was with before.
Anytime anybody complains about their cell phone bill, we say, you've got to check out Consumer Cellular.
And now for a limited time, new customers can get their second month free when they use promo code SECONDFREE. Just call, click, or bring us your bill and see how much you can save. Because when it comes to Big Wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit a store near you, or consumercellular.com and use code SECONDFREE to get a free second month. Real people paid to share their opinions in this ad. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
It's a word being used more and more as the day goes on. Tariff. You know what a tariff was before a few weeks ago? You're getting more and more used to it now, aren't you? There was a sharp drop in the stock market. Donald Trump said, I think it's going very well. He compared it to a patient needing an operation. And it's a wait and see game. It is the Kendall and Casey show. It's 93 WIBC. My name is Casey Daniels. That is Jerry Lopez. He's in for Rob Kendall, who has the day off. So Donald Trump said he predicted that this would happen with the stock market, but the country would boom due to his tariffs. And we just got to wait it out. The Dow Jones Industrial Average, it fell over 1,600 points. And this all because of Donald Trump saying he's putting America first, bringing manufacturing back to this country. And a lot of people are on board with this and saying, you know what, we can take this for a little while because we've been carrying the water for other countries for decades upon decades. I mean, when you think about it, really since World War II.
And when we look at some of these tariffs, if you really look at some of the tariffs that we pay to Canada, it's crazy. We're paying 75%, 100-something% on different goods and services. It's only about time we at least have the same tariffs going back and forth.
So Donald Trump stated that the situation was part of a necessary operation for the country's economic recovery. And he said that trillions of dollars in investments were coming into the U.S. as companies are seeking to make their products in the country to avoid these tariffs. And that's what you've been saying. Hey, you don't want the tariffs, make your product here.
Make it here, yeah. And here's the other part of it. So much of what's going on, like you said before, it's been a long time since we've ever even done anything like this.
Mm-hmm.
We need to take the wait and see approach to really see what's happening. These tariffs haven't even really come into play yet, and it's speculation that's driving the market crazy. All this is just talking heads causing panic.
Right. So these tariffs, they're described as reciprocal in response to U.S. trade deficits and higher tariffs on other countries. And you've got companies coming out like General Motors saying that, you know what, they're dramatically going to increase their vehicle production here in Indiana, in Fort Wayne, following the tariff announcement, but then Stellantis and Kokomo saying that they're going to be laying off about 900 workers because of their plants closing in Mexico and Canada. The thing that the area of this, I mean, you know, it's going to affect a lot of different areas. Vehicles, clothes, furniture,
lots of clothes,
electronics.
Yeah. Your prices at Dick's Sporting Goods are going to go through the roof. Nike,
your toys. Yeah. The one that concerns me the most, and I mentioned this yesterday, is the medicine, because we don't make a lot of our medicine, the majority of our medicine, in this country. And that scares me. It really does. Because when you think about China is making our medicine,
that's scary already.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Because
they already make our fentanyl.
Right. So, and you know, they imposed their 34% increased tariff on us as a response to Donald Trump's tariffs. And I don't know, it's like China's economy, you can't trust anything that's coming out of there because they manipulate their numbers, not only their economic numbers, but their population numbers as well. And their government's just going to turn around and keep paying their people.
Right.
Because that's what they do over there. So, you know, the experts, and I say that in air quotes, they're saying that you may start feeling these tariffs in 6 months. Some items it'll be sooner, some items it'll be longer. And then Donald Trump was saying in about 1.5 to 2 years, we'll be in a boom.
Yeah, and I had no problem with that. I know in Donald Trump's book, what was it, The Art of the Deal, he talked about ask for way more
than what you need.
So that your person you're negotiating with feels like they got a good deal when you actually get what you want. And I think that's what all this has been. The hardball with Trudeau, the hardball with the Mexican president. They came out immediately and said, we got people on the border. Because that was the issue with people on the border. Here's 10,000 troops for the border. We're also going to start migrating this, putting cartels on tariffs watch list. They agreed because they don't want the tariffs either.
Did you hear the Canadian guy say that if we have to, we'll use force?
Yeah, what do they have? Haven't they seen Super Troopers?
What kind of what kind of force is he talking about? But I saw this last night, and this is a longer clip than something maybe we'd normally play. But this is a young man, and he's summing up Trump's economic plan. Take a listen.
Whatever you think of Trump, his economic plan makes complete sense. The U.S. has 36 trillion in debt. In 2025, they will spend 6 trillion, but will only collect 4 trillion in revenue. So they need to borrow 2 trillion, and this will increase their debt to 38 trillion. Trump's economic plan is based on 3 levers. Number 1, cut expenses by 1 trillion, which is Doge, Elon Musk. He's targeting waste and fraud, like social security payments for people who are 150 years old. That is just fraud. 2, increasing revenue by 1 to 2 trillion through, number 1, tariffs. They will increase tariffs from 50 billion to 500 billion target. People will say, but other countries will retaliate. They will not be able to do it. The US is the biggest customer on earth. They consume 20 trillion every year. They are the biggest importer. They import 3 trillion every year. Plus, the current tariffs is actually not fair. Why should US cars entering Europe faces 10% tariffs, while the European cars entering the US just pay 2.5%? It's not fair. And because of the tariff changes, it now makes economic sense to build factories and businesses inside the US again. That means more jobs, means tax-paying businesses, and more foreign investment coming in. He will also increase revenue by deregulation. He will remove unnecessary regulations and rules, making it easier to do business, so business can grow faster, generate more tax revenues. he also make this gold card, which is offering lifetime U.S. residency for 5 million. I think at least 1 or 2 million individuals globally can afford it. So if just 10% of them, if just 100,000 people buy this card, that's 1 trillion in incremental revenue. The third lever is he will reduce taxes. If he successfully cut 1 trillion in waste and expenses and add 1 to 2 trillion in revenue, the US will have a surplus. They will have more money than they want. So he will cut taxes. For individuals, anyone gaining more than 150K, he will make them pay 0 taxes. And on corporate taxes, he will go down from the current 21% to 15%, compared to the European average of 22%. France average is 25, I think, and Germany is 30. So at 15% corporate tax, the US will become one of the most business attractive countries on earth. Bottom line, this is exactly how a government should be run, efficiently. Because when you eliminate waste, the money can actually go where it is actually needed, to the elderly, to the sick, to people who cannot work. And that is the real purpose of government, to protect the weak. Very few countries have the political will to do it. It takes leaders with backbone, charisma, and clarity of vision. Do you have leaders in your country pushing for real reform, or are they talking about non-relevant side topics? And let me know if you think Trump's plan is bad.
So I think the biggest points that he made there is that the United States is the world's biggest customer, $20 billion, right?
100%.
And it's not fair. So if these tariffs, they're tied to some serious reductions in spending, also some deregulation, and taxes are lowered, it's going to be a easy sell. But the problem is right now that so many people are so taxed so heavily, and we love our cheap stuff.
Well, that, but also one of the points he made to what you just referred to, we are consumers.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's one that when I came back from Iraq, one of the most jarring things to me was landing at the airport and seeing 75 different food options.
Yeah.
Or driving down the street and you seeing billboard. We are constantly consuming the next latest, greatest thing.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the things we consume come from China.
Yeah.
So it would be smart of them to make sure that we can still buy your products because we prop up your economy so much. Go to Walmart.
Yeah.
Everything's from China.
Mm-hmm.
We are buying that stuff.
Yeah. So Jim Banks, he was on Fox Business Live, and he was talking about Trump's tariffs.
What will be the immediate impact on your state and, quite frankly, every other state of these tariffs that were announced?
Well, the impact is going to be significant and significantly good for American workers. Indiana has already the most manufacturing jobs per capita of any state in the country, and we're the #1 steel producing state. And in my small hometown just outside of Fort Wayne, Indiana, the best paying jobs are at a steel mill called Steel Dynamics that a lot of people I went to high school with, a lot of family members work there. There are going to be more jobs like that because of President Trump's courageous decision today to implement reciprocal tariffs on countries where we have trade imbalances, and tell those other countries, we're not going to let you take advantage of our workers anymore. Already we have car manufacturers in the United States like General Motors, for example, who make less of their cars in the U.S. than Subaru, Honda, other foreign countries who make more of their cars actually in the U.S., but you're going to see that those numbers go up in a significant way because of these tariffs. Other countries are already coming to the table and calling President Trump and asking for a way out to negotiate these tariffs down. He's got the rest of the world's attention. This is good news, a historic day for the country, and we're just getting started.
Okay, now you just got to make sure that these Republicans, that they work with Donald Trump because they're already trying to block it.
Which sucks. People like Mitch McConnell. It's like, dude, just wheel yourself away at this point. You know, let the new people come in. But you heard what he said. Countries are already reaching out going, please no. Mm-hmm. So you know what? We're not going to give you the 30. Let's settle for 15 then. Because we were getting 6%. We need something.
Right. Even if it's just lower.
Yeah.
So, and that's what Donald Trump said, that every country is already calling him to negotiate some deals.
And those tariffs have come in, and every country's called us. That's the beauty of what we do. We put ourselves in the driver's seat. If we would have asked some of these countries, almost most of these countries, to do us a favor, they would have said no. Now they'll do anything for us. But we have tariffs, they've been set. and it's going to make our country very rich.
But are you open to deals with these countries if they're calling you?
Well, it depends. If somebody said that we're going to give you something that's so phenomenal, as long as they're giving us something that's good. For instance, with TikTok as an example, we have a situation with TikTok where China will probably say, we'll approve a deal, but will you do something on the tariff? And the tariffs give us great power to negotiate. Always have. I've used them very well in the first administration, as you saw, but now we're taking it to a whole new level because it's a worldwide situation.
He mentioned TikTok. So Amazon has made a bid to purchase TikTok, and this, because it may go away after this weekend, Donald Trump came out and he said, no, I think we're going to have a deal. And like I mentioned, I think that may have been why that was so important to Donald Trump when he extended it, when he first got into office, and TikTok went away for, I don't know, what was it, 18 hours, 24 hours, and then it came back, and people just blow it off like it's just this little nonsensical social media app where people dance. There is a lot of commerce that is involved on TikTok, and China wants that.
Yep.
So is Donald Trump using that algorithm as part of a negotiating tactic with China? And isn't it interesting that this deadline is all happening right
around the
before
tariff time.
Liberation Day?
Yeah.
Is that a coincidence?
I think the tariffs are supposed to go, is it tomorrow? The 5th? It's supposed to be coming
Some of them, like the 10th.
So calls are coming in now.
They're coming in now. You're right. You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show. It is 93 WIBC.
Matt Bear knows how to break the traffic press.
I-70 is packed tight. There's a blue Chevy trying to drive the lane, but it's facing tough D from the semi.
Matt Bear sees the openings, finds the best routes, and keeps you moving.
Watch out. 465 Construction is using a wicked zone with cones blocking the right side, forcing everyone into the middle.
Matt Bear traffic.
Complete gridlock in the paint.
Navigating traffic madness.
Fast break on I-69. Hit the gas.
Mornings and afternoons on 93 WIBC.
You know exactly why you need to remodel that kitchen of yours. The space, it's outdated. You can't move around like you used to. It doesn't work like it needs to. You want to entertain and you want to improve your quality of life. This can happen, just not with the kitchen you have. You need to call Booher Remodeling, B-O-O-H-E-R, BooherRemodeling.com. They can take that old kitchen that's deteriorating and broken down and turn it into something that works for you and your family. Their 5-step design process from start to finish, the consultation, the preliminary design, the design development, getting all the documents together, and then getting it done. The best materials, the most skilled craftsmen in central Indiana. Booher Remodeling will guide you through the entire process, starting with the free initial consultation, and they stand behind their work with a 2-year workmanship guarantee. Create that new kitchen. Design experts can use an existing layout or begin completely from scratch. Talk to Booher Remodeling today. B-O-O-H-E-R. BooherRemodeling.com. That's BooherRemodeling.com.
The Builders Association of Greater Indianapolis' Parade of Homes is coming up April 25th through the 27th and May 2nd through the 4th, featuring Indy's top builders. Custom home builder Joyner Homes will have both of their Greenfield model homes featured on the tour, giving you the opportunity to meet their new home specialist, find out about floor plans, pricing, and available lots. JoynerHomes.com for more info and reserve your ticket to receive a free all-access pass for the Parade of Homes at BAGI.com.
Trust employee owned. B Windows extending our employee discount to you, up to 55% off, plus 18 months, no interest, no payments. Trust your home to B.
Don't stress about plumbing repairs. Call LD Smith for honest advice and a free second opinion on any estimate.
LD Smith Plumbing.
A dirty, stinking honest.
I'm Sherry Shepard. You probably know me best as a co-host on The View. More importantly, I'm a mom. If you're pregnant or a new mom, you can get timely expert information to help keep your baby healthy, something every mother wants. Through a free service called Text for Baby, women get health tips sent directly to their cell phones to help them care for their babies through the first year. Just text BABY, B-A-B-Y, to 511-411. That's BABY, B-A-B-Y, to 511-411 for the health of your baby.
There's a movie coming out, Jerry. I don't know if you're a movie guy. Are you a movie guy?
I'm a movie guy, and Happy Gilmore 2 is on my schedule as well.
Is it really? You're going to go see that?
I have to.
Well, no, that's on Netflix.
Yeah,
isn't
yeah,
it?
but I will see that.
Okay.
Beverly Hills Cop, all the remakes. Give me those.
What about the Naked Gun reboot?
I haven't even heard of this.
What?
No.
Okay, so Liam Neeson, he's reprising the role.
Is that the Taken guy? I know who you are.
Yeah, he's going to play the Leslie Nielsen character.
Okay.
So it's a reboot, and the trailer for that came out yesterday. Kevin, do you have that? It's number 10. All right, here we go. The first trailer for Naked Gun, the reboot, starring Liam Neeson.
Multiple SWAT units responding to hostage situation.
Hey, little girl, stop. What do you want, little one? Your ass.
Oh, boy.
That's the sound of the police. That's the sound of the beast.
Okay, so this movie is going to be in theaters on August 1st, and it's got Pamela Anderson in it. Does that do anything for you?
No.
Okay.
No. But here's the problem.
Yeah.
He will always be the guy from Taken for me.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to see him in any other role. He's done that character so good. It's like Jim from The Office.
Yeah.
Has a hard time being anybody other than Jim from The Office for me.
Wasn't Jim from The Office? He was kind of in a military.
Like
Jack Reacher?
Jack Ryan.
Jack Ryan. Yeah. You can't take him
That's
serious.
Jim from The Office.
Right. You can't take him serious in that role.
It's hard.
Even though he's all buffed up.
Yeah, it's
and
hard. Yeah.
Muscular.
He played
and
the other
cut.
roles so well that that's who he will always. It's like Alfonso, whatever, that Carlton. Never got a job after that because you're Carlton.
Right? Because there's a dance named after you. Okay.
Yeah, so Liam Neeson's that person.
So you mildly interested?
I
not
will watch
interested?
it when it comes out on something else.
Okay. Did you see that Tom Cruise mentioned Val Kilmer the other day? He was at a CinemaCon 25, whatever that is. It was in Las Vegas. And he talked about Val Kilmer, who passed away on April 1st from pneumonia. He said, I can't tell you how much I admired his work and him as a human being as well. And, he said that he'd like to take a moment for everybody in the audience to honor a dear friend of his.
That's awesome. And I know he was battling, throat cancer there for a while, too. It sucks getting older because you start seeing these people that they just start falling. You know, the Val Kilmers of the world, the celebrities that you grow. It's kind of like I watched LeBron and now I'm watching his kid.
Right.
You just start to realize your own mortality like that. These days are not going any slower.
So Tom Cruise was at this event and he was presenting new material from Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. Is it really the final reckoning? But before he began his presentation, he led the audience in a moment of silence to honor Val Kilmer and his former Top Gun star. Okay, so there are some changes coming to Mega Millions, and that begins this weekend. So the price for the Mega Millions ticket is going up. I know you're surprised. It's going up. It's going to be $5 per play.
Oh, no, thanks. I'm out. I'm out.
It's only the second price increase ever.
What did it used to be? I'm not a lottery guy, so I have no couple bucks.
I think it was $3, wasn't it?
Yeah, $5 just for no.
So the starting jackpots are also going to be bigger.
Of course, because they're taking in more money.
Right. They're jumping from $20 million to $50 million. And they estimate that the average jackpot will now increase from about $450 million to $800 million.
I have all my teeth. I'll never hit the lottery.
So the odds of winning will improve slightly, they say. The odds of winning now are going to be 1 in 290 million.
Sweet. Take my money.
That's up from 1 in 302 million. We have to talk about what the Indiana lawmakers just did. They passed that bill that would ban transgender women from playing on women's college sports teams. Did you see the story about that fencer?
Dude, so I got 4 daughters. This is the hill I will die on.
So this female fencer, she protested by taking a knee before her match against a male opponent. and she was immediately disqualified and then expelled from the tournament. And the man that she was going to be competing against played on the men's team just a year before.
Yeah, last year. He was in the dudes tournament. And this year he wants to go against the girls.
Yeah, and now USA Fencing have disqualified her.
Yeah. She took a knee and she said, I can't do this. This is a women's tournament.
Mhm.
He competed with the men last year. That's a man. I can't do this. Takes a knee and now is being punished.
Mm-hmm. So this bill in Indiana, House Bill 1014, it cleared the Senate, 42-6 vote. It's now headed to Mike Braun's desk.
Yeah, I support all that. And listen, transgender identifying people have a right to compete, but you're either going to compete in a transgender category where maybe it's open sex, any sex can compete, where we'd call like an open division, or you need to compete with your assigned gender at birth. Those are the options. You can't go the other. And you have a right to identify as whatever. Once again, as a veteran, pick your gender. Say you're whatever. I don't have to agree with you. That's the other side of the coin.
Yeah. You're listening to the Kendall Casey Show. It is 93 WIBC.
Hello, friends in listener land. It's Rob for the great guys at Save a Tree, the tree, shrub, and lawn experts. Now, you're looking around at your lawn. The weather's starting to change. Spring is here. That means it's time to get going. And the folks from Save a Tree are the place you need to go. They can get your lawn looking great after some tough winter weather. Let's face it, we all want a great-looking lawn, right? But we don't want to put the time and effort into making it happen. That's where the pros at Save a Tree come in. Now, I called Save a Tree a couple weeks ago. Sean came out. He was on time. He was professional. Took a look around, gave me some suggestions on how to get my lawn looking great. And here in the near future, Save a Tree going to put some of that stuff into action. Here's what you got to do. Go to saveatree.com, SAVATREE.com, SAVATREE.com. Schedule your totally free, no hassle, no obligation consultation. Saveatree.com, the tree, shrub, and lawn experts. Tell them Rob sent you.
Turning 65, new to Medicare, or just moved? If you qualify for Medicare and Medicaid, a Humana Dual Eligible Special Needs Plan, a DSNP, may give you the extra benefits you're looking for. A DSNP helps cover things like prescriptions and checkups, but it also helps pay for essentials too. With a Humana DSNP, you get $225 a month for eligible groceries, rent, utilities, and more. Plus, whatever you don't spend carries over to the next month. You may even get benefits like $0 copays on routine prescriptions, plus routine dental, vision, or hearing coverage. All of this could make a difference for your health and wallet. Learn more at GetHumana.com. Humana, a more human way to healthcare. Humana is a coordinated care HMO SNP plan with a Medicare contract and a contract with the Indiana Medicaid program. Enrollment in any Humana plan depends on contract renewal. Allowance amounts cannot be combined with other benefit allowances. Limitations and restrictions may apply.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
He's got a lot to sort through. I'm Sean Herrick. Here's what's trending at 11:30. Severe weather could happen again in Indiana tonight. What about tornadoes? Aaron Updike with the National Weather Service explains.
We can't completely rule out tornadoes tonight, but given the atmospheric conditions, we do think it's a lot lower threat tonight than it was on Wednesday.
Most of the state is under a flood watch, warning, or advisory. Stocks have been dropping all morning ever since the opening bell as China issues retaliatory tariffs against President Trump's tariffs. Indiana gas at $3.30 a gallon on average today, says GasBuddy.com. In Las Vegas, the Wizard of Oz at the Sphere will open in August. The staff at the Sphere says this will be a fully immersive experience where you can enjoy the classic film from 1939. I'm Sean Herrick, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Listen up, fellow Gen Xers. Elizabeth Banks here. The recommended age for pneumococcal pneumonia vaccination has been lowered to 50 and older, even if you're healthy. It's up to us to lead the way. We've done this before. Music videos, fanny packs, even the World Wide Web. Let's do it again and get vaccinated, because we're at over 6 times greater risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Gen X, this is our shot. Visit VaxAssist.com and schedule a vaccine today. Sponsored by Pfizer.
We're here early before they wake up.
We stay late. We stay informed. We invest in the latest technology.
We take the time to train the next generation of doctors and nurses. We work together to make sure we heal their bodies and their minds.
We do this not because it's our job, but because this is about our veterans' lives. This is our mission. More than 300,000 of us working as one, together with families and loved ones. No matter where they live in this country, we'll be there.
We all come together and stand together to serve our veterans. We stand strong, united. Stand with us in caring for our veterans.
My grades were bad. I would get D's and C's.
I appeared to be doing good at my school life, but if you would see me at home, it would have been a completely different story.
I mean, it was just rough focusing on school when your mother is somebody you have to take care of. It got worse and worse and worse throughout the years.
There are students who need somebody.
They can trust someone, and it could be the first person they've ever trusted in their life.
Communities in Schools is lowering America's dropout rate by helping more than 1.3 million kids every year get whatever they need to succeed in school.
If something was going on at home, we would go just stop by Miss Liberty's office and talk to her.
Communities in Schools vouched for me when everyone else had lost hope.
You can help change the picture of education right here in your community and across the nation. Visit communitiesInschools.org.
I hear people say we can't save every kid, but I think that we can.
Yankee legend Bernie Williams has a personal message to share.
Idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis, or IPF, is a rare and serious lung disease that affected my dad. Its symptoms, which include shortness of breath, fatigue, and a dry, persistent cough, are similar to other more common conditions like COPD, which means that IPF is often misdiagnosed. There is no cure for IPF, but there are treatments that can help slow disease progression. If you think you or a loved one may have IPF, don't wait. Visit breathlessipf.com to learn more and talk to a pulmonologist today.
Ladies, most of us are exhausted and trying to figure out how to do it all. We just want rest. And if we're honest, a good long nap. What if I told you there's a better kind of rest? One that refreshes you and lets you operate out of overflow instead of exhausted leftovers. The Women of Life Church are seeking God and holy rest. Join us on April 26th for our annual women's event. Take a deep breath. Rest is waiting. For more information, go to lifechurchin.com.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIPC.
Earlier in the show, we were talking about how you got some money from Unclaimed, Indiana, right?
Did $130.
Yeah. And you just got a note from somebody who said that they went on?
YouTube chat. Somebody, Scroggs Shamich, said, just got money back from Indiana Unclaimed. Was not expecting that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Congratulations to them.
Check now, indianaunclaimed.gov. It's free. It's your money. I had $130 within 8 days.
Yeah. And no problem. You said it was really easy to do,
Yeah.
huh?
It took me maybe all of 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Just put in your name and your
and then
address.
it has an address. I'm like, oh, I just went through the addresses. I was like, oh, that was mine. That's obviously me.
That's me.
Done, super verified, done within maybe less than 10 minutes. And then I was just waiting for a check. I didn't know it was going to happen. And then boom.
And there it was.
There it was.
So there you go. Wow, look at you. You're helping people.
No, it's you guys. I did it because you guys kept talking about it.
That comes from, I believe, Todd Rokita's
There it
office.
is.
Yeah, so interesting. And then one of our listeners just got $85 as well. Look at that. So that's one way to get money. Don't know if you're going to get any relief on your property
Somebody
taxes.
said they got $600 years ago.
What?
Yep.
That's crazy. Awesome. All right. I'm going to check it out myself. Wouldn't that be amazing if there was just a ton of money there?
Like $1,400 just waiting for you. Yeah.
There won't be. I'm sure there won't be.
Not with that attitude, Casey.
Right. It's my attitude that's going to make all the difference. You know, my attitude's pretty sour in regards to property taxes. My bill went up 17.4% this year, 34% since 2021. How you like them apples?
Well,
you like
listen,
that?
next
That's $900, Jerry.
Well, next year it's only going to be $850 if they get to
You
do what
think
they
so?
want. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Okay, so there is a Ways and Means Committee meeting scheduled for Monday at 10:30, and this they're going to amend and vote on SB1. But apparently, Rob tweeted this out yesterday, told the House property tax bill is a complete dumpster fire with minimal relief, and the new goal is to ram it through, as the Senate did, as fast as possible to eliminate time for opposition.
Why do they hate us?
This is why it disappeared for 3 weeks. It'll get announced at 3:30 on a Friday and then voted for on a Monday. Why do they hate us? It's control.
I mean, look at all these places.
They love their money. Our money is their money.
We have super pools. We have event centers. We have palladiums. We have all of these different things. You have money, dude. You have money to spend on everything.
Yeah, but they think if they're not growing, they're losing.
Well, it's typical government, though. How often do they ever take some? We are still taking our shoes off at the airport. You know why? Because they got us to do it. They never give it back after they take your money or your rights.
Good point. So Scott Baldwin was talking yesterday, and he was talking about the bill about the growing Indiana into the state of Illinois and those annexation of those counties in Illinois, wanting to be a part of Indiana, that nonsense. And somebody brought up property taxes, and he took a moment to talk about that. Listen to this.
May I respond, Mr. Chairman, to that briefly? I appreciate you, Senator Darnell, bringing up real estate property taxes, because if you have paid any attention to the news or to happenings in the State House, that seems to be a popular topic these days. And there has been some concern that our property taxes are too high. I would agree that we accelerated too rapidly with our homestead property taxes, and we're trying to do what we can to fix that. In the face of us being, what did you say, 1/8?
1/8.
1/8 of the property taxes of Illinois. And we can compare it to many other states out there, what our property taxes look like. But I would say that that's a fine example of why sometimes we perceive the grass to be greener on the other side when it's really greener where you water it. And in Indiana, we water our grass. And I'm glad you brought up real estate property taxes. While I 100% agree, we need to provide some homestead relief. And frankly, I'll say this, I'm a fan of zero homestead property taxes and try to figure out another way to tax people other than on their homes. We still have one of the lowest real estate property tax rates in the nation. So thank you for bringing that up. Thanks for allowing me to respond, Mr. Chairman.
So he wants zero property taxes for your homestead. Will he vote for that?
No.
Or he's just talking right now. He's talking outside of his mouth right now.
Yeah. And keep in mind that Indiana has the 17th highest tax burden across the country. And
with a supermajority.
With a supermajority. Well, the fiscally conservative supermajority. So it's almost like we should start thanking him. Why is he comparing Indiana to other states?
Well, just pick the worst one, too.
I'm not in another state.
No. Where are we at compared to other conservative states? Where are we at compared to Florida?
Yeah. So we'll see, how they're going to try and screw us today at 3:30. My guess is that nothing's going to get done, and they're going to try and, pass it off till next session.
Next Friday.
We know what the problems are now. We're really going to work on it. Okay, thanks.
Didn't they see this coming? This was what all this station talked about. Was property taxes was a huge deal. They've known that this was going to be the biggest thing. This is almost why Braun was elected.
Yeah. He ran on it.
Why isn't this done?
He ran on it.
Yeah, why is this not done?
It's SB 1.
And we're talking about SB 318 earlier.
Yeah, exactly.
Can we get one done?
Can we get no?
The flagship bill.
And then it's going to be like, wait and see. What is Governor Braun going to do? Because he said in front of 1,000 people at the State House that he was a fighter.
Yeah.
And he was going to fight, and this was his priority.
We'll find out.
We'll find out if we all got played. So one thing that Senator Scott Baldwin just mentioned there, Indiana Senator Scott Baldwin.
Yeah, make that that difference there.
One thing he said is that we water our grass here in Indiana. 56 farming families from Indiana recently were honored with the Hoosier Homestead Awards at the State House. And these awards recognize farms that are owned and operated by the same family for 100 years or more.
That's awesome.
And this has been going on since 1976. And the program so far has recognized more than 6,000 family farms who have impacted Indiana's economic and cultural and social advancement. Agriculture, obviously, foundation for Indiana's economy.
But I mean,
and the livelihood for thousands of Hoosier farmers.
100-year-owned family farm.
Mhm.
That is so cool.
Mm-hmm. They should be recognized, right?
100%. There's no telling how much they've done for the state. 100 years.
Yeah, right? It's such a huge part of our income in this state. So congratulations to...
We should talk to them about chicken coops.
They have real chicken coops, not DIY chicken coops.
Rustic.
Mm-hmm. Did you see that Subway is introducing something new?
No.
It's the Doritos footlong.
I will have that.
You will?
Oh, 100%.
So what they're doing is they're combining Dorito chips with Subway's toppings.
Yeah.
So there's no bread. The bread is the Doritos.
Oh, I don't
right?
know how I feel about that. I just want chips on my sandwich.
To give it a crunch?
Yeah.
No, that's the sandwich.
I'm out.
So it's like you can stand in line and do all your ordering, but they're just going to put it on top of your Dorito nacho cheese.
So it's essentially selling like walking tacos now?
Pretty much. Now you can get I believe the selection is limited to just like tomatoes, onions, the jalapeno, some of the sauces and cheese. Or smashed avocado, no additional cost there.
Hey, we're over here handing out money, Casey. Brad Martin got $239.
Are you kidding me?
Mark Ginter, $22.05 here.
$22.05?
People are bankrupt. Indiana Unclaimed.gov. Go get your money.
Isn't that interesting? Good for them. Good for them. We've got to talk about some music news coming up. And I'm going to take, what do you call it? A personal point of privilege?
There it is.
Yeah, some music news and also that coming up. Okay?
Can't wait.
All right, it's 93 WIBC.
3 words. Beer Sample Friday. That's what's coming up this afternoon on the Hammer and Nigel Show. The biggest stories in Indy. We'll talk some tariffs. Jeff Boggs is in for Nige, 93 WIBC.
Looking for a great deal on a new Lincoln? Come to Tom Roush Lincoln. Select 2024 Lincoln Navigators now $15,000 off and get 0% for 72 months. How about an all-new 2024 Lincoln Nautilus now $6,000 off with rates starting at 4.9% for 60 months. We look forward to seeing you at Tom Roush Lincoln in Fishers.
Lincoln Navigator MSRP 104,825. Lincoln Nautilus MSRP 57,785. Offers good through April 30th, 2025. Subject to credit approval. See dealer for complete offer details.
Spring is here, and that means it's time for new flooring in your home. Brothers Floor Covering is ready to help. Brand new carpet, hardwoods, laminates, and luxury vinyl plank in stock now. Plus, Brothers Floor Covering can get your new flooring installed in as little as 2 weeks. Visit Brothers Floor Covering today at their new location, 8550 North Michigan Road. Discover why buying local means getting more, not paying more. Get the flooring of your dreams installed now. Go to brothers-floorcovering.com. That's brothers-floorcovering.com.
High-quality fine jewelry doesn't have to come with a high price tag. PA Jewelers at the Farmhouse in Brownsburg is changing the game with prices up to 70% lower than what you're going to find at those big-name jewelry stores or even those strip mall jewelry stores. They have brand-name watches, stunning fine jewelry, custom designs, stuff from local artists, all at unbeatable prices. Go browse their expanded selection in a cozy, charming setting of their 1888 farmhouse. Why would you pay more when you can get the best for less? It's Casey Daniels inviting you to visit PA Jewelers at the Farmhouse in Brownsburg today or check them out online, pajewelers.jewelry. Call 317-456-4010.
You still thinking job change in the new year?
Yeah, I need something that's in high demand and more stable in this economy.
IT?
Yeah, cybersecurity, maybe even AI.
That's what I did.
Really? How?
Went to My Computer Career. You don't need any prior experience, and you could start your new career in a matter of months. A lot of IT pros go to school there, too, to level up.
Sweet. Are classes online or on campus?
Both.
Wow, I'll check it out. Thanks.
Make this your year. Take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students.
Puccini's Pizza, Pasta, Puccini's. 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 Puccini's Pizza, Pasta, Puccini's.
when dreams don't get in. That's RS.
Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel, plus low to no monthly payments. Call 765-545-BATH to schedule your free estimate or go to bathsrus.com. 765-545-BATH.
That's RS. When dreams don't get in. That's RS.
Military veterans and active duty service members, you could become a certified cyber warrior with just 12 weeks of training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, and IT pros with these skills often enjoy abundant opportunity and a great lifestyle. Protect our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. SkillBridge and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP.
Every day we knock on doors, tell people how they can cut their power bill in half. And get this, most don't even listen. So instead of walking miles knocking on doors, we figured, why not just buy a radio commercial? Look, we get it. Going solar sounds too good to be true. $0 down, 50% off your electric bill, never worrying about rate hikes. Sounds too good to be true, right? But here's the thing, it's not. It's just math. You already pay for electricity every month. Why not pay less and own your power? Most people still ignore this, but not you, right? You're smarter than that. So do what the smart people do. Get a free quote at SaveWithSolarNow.com. It takes 2 minutes, costs you nothing, and might just save you thousands of dollars. See for yourself at SaveWithSolarNow.com.
Want to find out what real retirement planning is all about? Tune in to Expedition Retirement with Greg Ayler, Sunday mornings at 7 on WIBC.
Never miss your favorite shows on WIBC. Get your content to go. Tony Katz, Kendall and Casey, Hammer and Nigel, Tony Kennett, The Gun Guy, Home and Garden. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
I just want to use your love tonight.
So Rob Kendall just tweeted out, I am told that while the dumpster fire House property tax bill does include tax relief for some, it also includes opportunities for massive income tax hikes by locals. Of course, you have to piece it together because they're the most untransparent people in the world. No surprise there. All the details coming up later this afternoon. I'm sure he will have more when he joins the #1 rated Hammer and Nigel program. This is the Kendall and Casey show. Rob does have the day off. Jerry Lopez is in today. And personal point of privilege right now, Jerry.
The floor is yours, ma'am.
So today is my 3rd year anniversary of working on WIBC.
Congratulations.
The first time I hit the air for reals with Rob Kendall, and I'm sure that's why he took the day off. He didn't want it to be all about me.
Too emotional.
So, when you talk about like major life events, what comes to mind? Can you
birth of kids?
Okay.
September 11th. Dad joined the service. Big things like that.
Yeah. People say like, moving is a major life event.
Yep.
So that's a check. Starting a new job.
Getting married.
That's a life event, right? Getting married or I bring that up because I feel like I've experienced quite a few major life events over the past 3 years while I've been here. So moved, started a new job. 9 months in, they sold the company, so kind of had to restart a new job, so to speak. And as many of our longtime listeners know, both my husband and my daughter had some major health issues. Both had surgeries, major surgeries. Daughter was diagnosed with a disease. She's in remission now. It's good. She's doing much better. But then she graduated from Purdue and then moved across the country, so became an empty nester. And I say all of these things while I was just guzzling and chugging from the fire hose of learning about the local politics here in Indiana and doing that along with
Rob
Kendall as my mentor.
That's the fast lane.
Yes, it is the fast lane. So it's just been like, oh my gosh, when I think back over the past 3 years, I'm like, I feel like I need a day off or something, But instead of doing that, let's talk music, shall we?
Let's do it. The floor is yours.
Because I did music radio for so long in the state of Indiana, and this happened last night, and I thought, you know what? I'm just going to take a moment and see if I still got it.
All
If I
right.
still got the skills that I used to when I worked in music radio. So two pretty big artists both released songs last night. And no, I'm not talking about Bruce Springsteen because Rob's not here, even though I know he announced he's releasing over 80 new songs this summer. It's a collection that's titled Tracks to the Lost Album. The albums are going to come out on June 27th. So I'm pretty sure that when Rob is back on Monday, we're going to talk in depth about these lost albums with him. But this is my moment, okay, Jerry? So instead, we're going to talk about some pop artists.
Okay.
They released 2 songs last night, and I thought it might be kind of fun to listen to a portion of these songs and do a little pretend, okay? Pretend you're at a radio station and you only have room for one song.
Okay.
Which one are you picking?
Fair.
The first one is by Miley Cyrus. She dropped a song. It's called End of the World.
Let's pretend it's not the end of the world.
Okay, all right.
That's Miley Cyrus?
Miley Cyrus.
Okay.
Fun little upbeat poppy
Yeah.
track called End of the World, right?
Yep.
You got a feel for it?
I got it.
Okay, the other artist that released a new song last night is Ed Sheeran.
Oh, it's good.
And his new song is called Azizim.
Miley was better than I thought she would be. That threw me off.
You liked Miley's better?
I think out of the two, I probably like Miley.
Yeah, okay, so this song from Ed Sheeran, it means my dear. Azizim means my dear. Now, Miley Cyrus' song that we played is called End of the World. So if you're just basing this completely on the music.
I'm a radio station. What's going to get the most spins?
Yeah.
Me, it's Miley.
I think it's Miley Cyrus as well. And you're probably going to be hearing that more if you listen to that type of music. But this isn't your typical radio station. This is WIBC. And if we had a pop music playlist, I have to go with Ed Sheeran based solely on the politics.
Agreed.
Because Miley Cyrus, End of the World, Kevin and I discussed, we think that might be an anti-Trump song.
No way.
Yeah. And she has said that Donald Trump is a blanket nightmare. And she has said things like, she's going to leave the country because of him. And he's a nightmare. He acts like he's the chosen one, blah, 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 blah. Right? Ed Sheeran says that he doesn't like to get involved in politics because who says, I wonder what Ed Sheeran's politics are.
Nobody. Yeah.
Right. Nobody cares what Ed Sheeran's politics are, right? So he just wants you to judge him based on his music. Ed Sheeran also says that he is a Christian.
Okay.
So if you're going to base it completely on politics, I'm going to go with Ed Sheeran. If you're going to base it on the music.
Ed Sheeran's being smart here.
Right.
It's kind of Michael Jordan-esque where he goes,
Right.
Republicans and Democrats both buy shoes.
Right, and Ed Sheeran saying, while I do believe that Ed Sheeran probably leans more liberal than conservative on, big picture, he's not at least name-calling Donald Trump like Miley Cyrus is. So that's our music challenge for the day.
Hey, congratulations on your 3 years, man.
3 years,
That's
baby.
awesome. That's awesome.
Learned a lot, and I'm so grateful to our listeners for having me, because if it weren't for them, I wouldn't be here.
Oh.
So thank you. This is the Kendall and Casey Show. It's 93 WIBC. We'll catch you back here on Monday.
Are you nearly maxed out on your credit cards? It doesn't matter if you're using your credit cards for fun or to survive. At the end of the month, your statements come in, and you can either pay them or you can't. If you can't, late fees and interest rates get tacked on. And now you're struggling just to make the minimum payment due. Do you feel trapped? Am I talking to you? Good, because I personally researched some companies that can help you. They may be able to reduce your credit card balances by 50% and stop the late fees. If you qualify, please call our special debt hotline number right now for a complimentary free 5-minute consultation. Deal with your credit card problem now before it gets much worse and put more money back in your pocket. Trust me, I've been there too. Call right now.
800-948-1659. 800-948-1659. 800-948-1659. That's 800-948-1659.
This is a special notice to all U.S. taxpayers with back taxes to the IRS. Billions in tax relief is now being made available to struggling taxpayers, giving thousands, even tens of thousands of dollars in savings away to those who qualify. If you're facing wage garnishment, threatening letters, audits, liens, levies, or already in a payment plan, you can now expedite the resolution to your tax problem, end collections, and even qualify to reduce a large portion of what you owe. Stop IRS Debt has established a relief hotline for you to call to check what savings and options you qualify for. Dial 800-518-9137. With many people facing job loss and rising cost of living, these special IRS initiatives are designed to aid delinquent taxpayers with the relief that they need to get a fresh start. For a free consultation to see what savings you qualify for, call 800-518-9137. 800-518-9137. 800-518-9137.
Trust employee owned. B Windows extending our employee discount to you. Up to 55% off, plus 18 months, no interest, no payments. Trust your home to be.
On the level, on the go. 93